She got to learn, she got to watch us walk through the property. But how did she participate? So let's go through the timeline. And I think this timeline will probably be beneficial for a lot of people in here, about 900 people. Got to look. Okay. So timeline number one, here's how this worked. 24 unit multifamily deal. It took about 20 days to close. This deal, 24 unit between me and Adam, this lead came from Robin. Robin was watching a free training just like the one you're watching right now. She learned what bird dogging was. I paired her up with one of my students, Adam. Adam's been in SubTo for over 4 years, and he's been cranking and doing a ton of deals. She set an appointment for him to talk to the broker. I'm going to say that again. She set an appointment for him to talk to the broker. She asked him questions. Adam is the one that closed the 24 unit deal. Adam is the one that negotiated the paperwork. Adam's the one that got the deal under contract. Adam's the one that went down to the property with me and inspected the property and saw it all in person. Robin did not need to know any of those things. Robin got paid $10,000 for setting that appointment. I didn't say she got it under contract. I didn't say she had to go and negotiate. I didn't say she did the follow-up. She literally got paid 10 grand for setting the appointment. Okay, so now for those of you guys that are live on Zoom, if you guys are over on YouTube, I'm going to give you guys a Zoom link so you guys can come over and hang out with us. How many people feel like you could do that for an RV park or a mobile home park? If I gave you the instruction of setting an appointment, how many people feel like you could set an appointment, make 10, 15, 30, 40? The most amount of money I've paid to somebody that has set an appointment for me was $90,000 on an RV park. The most amount of money I've paid for somebody to set an appointment for me on a multifamily was $120,000. Obviously, it was a big deal, but I want you to understand, is that something that you can do? And when you ask the question of like, are RV parks good for me? Yes, they are good for you if you know a quality buyer that will work with you and do the deal with you and basically walk you through that deal. Okay. Janelle Short says, who paid Robin? Great question. Okay. Let's see, Janelle, let me bring you up here. Janelle Short. What up, Janelle Short? How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Janelle, where's that accent from?
Just north of Houston.
Okay, cool. Just north of Houston. Awesome. So, Janelle, the way that this deal worked, let's go through it. It's a $3 million purchase. The seller, the reason why the seller would sell to us this way is because the seller was not wanting to sell the property and go buy another one. Do you know anything about taxes when a seller retires? What happens to them?
Not really. We're just getting started with all this.
Okay,
We're
cool.
learning.
I
Mhm.
want you to write this down. This is one of those getting started. You write this thing down, you'll understand why a seller will sell to you the way I teach. Is because when a seller retires, let's say they own a 24 unit in New Orleans. This guy has owned it for 20 years. It has paid for all of his bills, and now he's getting to the point where he's sick and tired of tenants, toilets, trash. He never hired a manager. He's been doing it all himself, and this is what we call a tired landlord. Okay. He gets tired. He doesn't learn management, doesn't learn delegation. This is like 90% of every landlord you'll ever meet. This is the type of person I buy properties from. If he sells a $3 million property that he bought 20 years ago for $1 million, he has a $2 million profit. Do we agree?
Yes.
When he sells that on the market for cash, he now gets a tax called a capital gains tax of nearly $600,000. So even though he earned $2 million for sitting on this property for 20 years, the government's going to take about 600 grand. He'll walk away with $1.4 million. Does that sound like something that you would really want to do, is give the government $600,000?
And absolutely not.
Cool. So we went to that seller and we said, we will do this deal with you at your $3 million asking price, but we need seller finance. One, we don't want to go through a bank. It would take too much time. Two, we want 0% seller finance because you're asking for top dollar. So if we can do a low money down and we can do a deal where you were getting 0% seller finance, we can help you get rid of your capital gains so that you truly get all $3 million. Now, that's another conversation for another day. How do we legally structure that? But it is accomplished through seller finance. So the seller becomes our bank. He walks away. We are now the new owner. We pay him like he's the bank. He gets an $11,000 monthly payment. And that monthly payment now is how he goes and survives and lives on his retirement. Does this make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. The seller asks for a little bit of a down payment. Okay. So $3 million purchase price, no bank involved, no credit check, no tax returns, no W-2, no license, none of those things are involved. And the seller says, yeah, if you give me the 3 million and you make a monthly payment for $11,000, by the way, the property is 24 units. It brings in about 30 grand. So if I'm bringing in 30 grand on the property, you think I can afford an $11,000 payment to him?
Yes.
Cool. So I want people to understand that's where the money comes from. It comes from Section 8 HUD-VASH, which is Section 8 for veterans, and then also nonprofit organizations fill these 24 units. So we're getting our money from guaranteed resources. That's how I make my money. Okay.
Perfect.
Cool. So now, where does the money come from to pay Robin? Well, we have to give the seller, let's say, $100,000 as a down payment for his $3 million. Okay. What I do is I go to a group of private money lenders, which I'll give you guys a list of private money lenders tomorrow that you guys can do these deals with. Okay. And I go to these private money lenders and I go, I want you to bring the $100,000 and I want you to bring me 30 grand for an acquisition fee. I want to pay myself up front for buying this deal. And I want you to get Robin paid and I want you to pay for closing costs on this deal. So I'm not only $0 out of pocket, but I'm also 30 grand in my pocket to buy a 24 unit and you're paying Robin, who's the bird dog. Now, if I put all of that together from a private money lender, okay, I put all of that together from a private money lender, that totals about $150,000 that a private money lender would bring to me. This is like a doctor, a lawyer, a traveling nurse, an engineer, somebody who has cash but no time to invest on their own. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So that money comes in, Robin takes 10,000, the broker gets paid, the seller gets his 100,000, the title company who does the paperwork, they get paid, I get paid 30 grand to do the deal, and I have a payment now of $1,500 a month to that private money lender for his interest on that deal. Again, where does that $1,500 now come from?
Out of the profit every month from the
There you go. How much
rent.
money is, how
Yeah.
much is this property bringing in again every month?
Oh, I think you said 30 something thousand.
$30,000 is what's coming in from guaranteed rents between Section
Right.
8 HUD-VASH, which is Section 8 for veterans, and
Right.
also for nonprofit organizations. 30 grand comes into us. 1,500 goes to our private money lender. 11,000 goes to our
Seller.
seller who sold it to us on seller finance. We still
Mhm.
have $17,000 to work with for utilities, maintenance, upgrading the house, upgrading the property, and we still walk away netting somewhere around $8,000 every single month. Does that make sense where all that money comes from?
It did. Thank you.
No
Yes.
problem. It's a great question because a lot of other people will always have that same question. They're like, wait, how did you do that? And how did Robin get paid? If you're no money out of pocket and you got paid 30 grand to buy that building, then how the heck did Robin get paid? Can we all get a yes in the side chat that you know now where Robin got paid, where the money came from? And can we also get a yes that you understand tomorrow when you guys come in here? I will also get you guys a list of private money lenders that you can work with on these types of deals. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you, Pace. I'll take those deals all day long.
Well, yeah, me too. And that's all we do. Just FYI, these deals are everywhere. So Jenna Lowe says, what's your payment plan with the private money lender? Now, while this is not really part of what I want to talk about, I think that when you're brand new, there's these questions that pop up and it's nice to hear the answer to them. Otherwise, you are blocked on that question. So Jenna Lowe, how you doing?
Hi, Pace. I'm great. How are you?
I'm really good. So every private money lender, as you can imagine, Some of them are doctors, lawyers. Some of them are retired people that don't want to go find deals and do what I do, which is hold a portfolio, build a portfolio, scale a portfolio, deal with that. These are people that are semi-retired, have a 401k, a self-directed IRA. They have some sort of retirement plan, right? Can we agree that every single one of these people have a different personality type?
Yep.
Cool. So when you ask the question of how are you paying your private money lender back, that depends on the private money lender. But I have private money lenders that are, I don't ever want you to pay me back. I just want the monthly interest. In fact, they're upset when I pay them back. I paid off $2 million this year in private money lenders from the profits from my deals. And as I paid them back, they were upset. Why? Because now they don't have a monthly check coming in that I mean, it's truly passive money, right? So those private money lenders will give me 5-year terms, usually interest only. And how do I pay them back? I'm going to go really fast through this because this is not the main focal point of what I want you guys to understand today. I'm going to go through these 5 things very, very quickly. Jenna, are you ready for these? How do I pay the private money lender back?
Yep.
Okay, number one, when the 5 years are up, I either sell the property because it's gone up in value. I've added value to it. I've raised the rents. I now have equity in the deal. I could sell the property on the retail market, get a chunk of money for myself from the profit, and then I pay off that private money lender. That one's pretty obvious, right?
Mhm.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, I could refinance depending on what's going on in the world and the interest rates. I could refinance and pay those private money lenders off depending on what's going on in the interest rate environment. Are we on the same page with that one?
Yep.
Cool. Number three, this one is the one I typically will do. And I'll walk you through an RV park probably in about 30, 40 minutes that I've done this on. I will take the profit from the park that is my profit. After everything's paid, I will take my profit and I will pay off my private money lenders every single month. I will pay their principal down. Okay, this is a quick example. Is I have an RV park in Montana. It makes 24 to 25,000, like right in that sweet spot, 24,000, $25,000 net every single month. Now, what does that mean? That means every year I could take home about $300,000, right? 25,000 times 12 months equals about 300,000. I could take home that $300,000 and never have to work again, technically. Or I could take that full $300,000 that I made in my first year and take it and pay my private money lender off in year one. That park I raised 250,000. So what I did is I made the profit on the deal, the cash flow, and I took that money and I paid that private money lender off, even though they gave me 5-year terms. I paid them off in my first year. Do you see why my private money lenders don't love that I do that? I pay them off very quickly.
Yes.
Okay. The fourth way that you can pay off a private money lender is replacing that private money lender with another private money lender. And I've done this a handful of times as well. The first private money loan I ever borrowed was in 2012. It was a girl named Sonia. I borrowed $30,000 and oh my gosh, was I afraid to borrow $30,000. I just was. And by the way, a lot of you guys are asking questions that, Jenna, I don't mean this with any disrespect, but my mentor a long time ago that I paid a lot of money to learn this stuff from, this lady told me I would continually ask questions I did not deserve to know the answer to. And I would create questions that I had not interacted with or reached that point where that question would even help me in my journey. And she was kind of blatantly rude about it, just like, stop asking these stupid questions. You're an asshole. These are not going to help you. But I've learned along the way that most people have the same questions over and over. And if I can obliterate the first 10 questions that you're going to have, like, wait, where's the money come from? Wait, why would the seller sell it to you that way? Wait, where do these deals come from? Right? There's about 10 questions that everybody gets stuck on. I will obliterate them today. One of them is, wait, how do you pay your private money lender back? So I love the question. I wish I could go into a 2-hour answer, but I have answered this on YouTube in 2 hours. It'll just be hard for you to find that video. So I'm trying to do it in like 5 minutes. The fifth way that I can pay the private money lender back is through other projects. Okay. So let's say I'm fixing and flipping on the side, which I do. I make about $1 million a year just from fixing and flipping, and I make about $1 million a year from building new homes. Okay. I have 9 companies. They're all mostly real estate related. I don't really talk about my fix and flip business because it's not that exciting. I love fixing and flipping, but it's a part-time job. I want you guys to remember this. Fixing and flipping is not a career. It's a part-time job depending on what's going on with the market. I pull out of fixing and flipping when it's trending downward. I double down when the market is trending upwards. Okay. Fixing and flipping is a challenging game. It's gambling on what's going on in the market. So when I do fix and flip, we make about $1 million a year. So let's say that I raise $250,000 for an RV park. If I make $1 million in my fix and flip business, can I not just take that and pay that off with other proceeds from another deal? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, the reason why I say that's number 5 is because most people won't do that because most people don't have big outside projects that would pay those things off, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. So does that alleviate the stress of how do I pay these people back?
100%. Thank you.
No problem. Happy to answer the question. I hope other people got a lot of value from that, Jenna. I know they did. People love that question. Was that helpful for everybody in here? Give me a yes if that was super helpful for you to understand the 5 ways that you pay private money lenders back. Can we just promise me over the next 2 days we don't ask that question anymore? Because I want to make sure we get into the main training. A lot of times you guys will create these questions in your mind and they'll prohibit you. Okay. Is tomorrow a bit advanced and today basics? Simon, I'm not going to tell you. Okay. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Patrick McGuire says, I need a slow crawl or docs to understand it better. No, you don't. Here's the reality of what you do not need. Okay. Brandon Brown says, are you explaining rev share or equity? I'm actually not explaining either one of those. Okay. Another way that I started raising money was actually doing when I do rev share or equity. Now we're talking about private money lenders. Okay. There's a big difference between private money lenders and private money partners. Okay. So what Brandon's bringing up is he's bringing up what I call PIMPs, PMP, private money partners. These private money partners come to you and they go, I want ownership in the deal. Brandon, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm really good. This is a great point. So
I'm
another
sorry,
way to get,
I'm at work. I've been listening on the drive home.
oh, no worries about it. Don't worry about it. So this is a really great question and a great point is that a lot of people will go, well, wait, hold on. So I have to pay these people interest? No, a lot of times I'll do deals where I don't want to pay people back. Instead, I want them to be my partners. And the challenging part about having partners, Brandon, is that these partners make money only when the property is really successful. And when the property is not successful, they lose money. And so you have to have a little bit higher level skill of raising that type of capital than you do when you're raising capital for interest only, who they're like, I don't really care what's going on with the property. I get paid. But when you do private money partner or equity, that person makes money only when the property is successful. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Uh,
Now, what it
one of
does
my
is it also
mentors has been teaching. I apologize.
alleviates the monthly payment. And so some people chase that rabbit and they go, I don't want the monthly payment. Now, hopefully this is super helpful. Simon, my friend, who's like, hey, is this, I don't think this is basic. I want you to be very, I want you to understand that this is actually not very basic, Simon. Simon is like, are we going to only go through basics today? Simon, this is like just kind of standard stuff. Let's see, which Simon was this today? How many Simons do we have to go through today to find the right Simon? Okay, Simon Hurdle. Okay, Simon Hurdle, what's up, man? How you doing?
How's it going? I'm not sure if my microphone actually works.
It works just fine. So Simon Hurdle, here's something I need you to understand. If you, for some reason, are like, I want more advanced stuff, a couple of things I would tell you is I've done 3,700 videos on my YouTube channel. And if you are like, I want to just jump into the specific thing, I would go to YouTube and type in Pace Morby and then the thing you're super curious about. Chances are I've answered it in a YouTube video. It's just not live. And so what happens is people really enjoy the live and I go through a cadence that I'm going through essentially what I would kind of consider the Panama Canal of mental education, meaning people want to go from the Pacific Ocean to the Gulf of Mexico. They got to go through the Panama Canal, right?
Yeah,
In
absolutely.
order for people to go from I don't know something to I know something and I'm confident in it, they have to go through chambers in that canal. And I understand when I'm doing a live training that you might have a desire at a higher level to go into like really advanced stuff, which would be like the third or fourth chamber in that canal. I'll get there. But if I jump there right now, it's going to break people's brains. And they're going to ask the question of like, wait, private money lender? Wait, where did the money come from? Wait, I don't understand. And so I'm going through basics so I can get to the advanced stuff. And this is what happens when you do free challenges. You kind of get a plethora of different types of people. You have people like Simon who are like, show me the spreadsheets right now. And then you have other people that are like, wait, what's private money, right? And so I've done this enough over the last 12 years in education that I know how to take people through compartments. And if you're patient with me, which I know you are, if you're patient with me, I promise you will get so much out of this and you'll go, man, this was actually really informative, not only on the basic stuff, but also, gosh dang, he compounded in such a way that when he took the plane off, it was like, oh my gosh, I got this. I can do this too. And so, yes, we will have a lot more. I'm going to go live today for probably 3, maybe 4 hours. And I'm going to talk just this fast, go through a lot of stuff tonight so that tomorrow we can even compound a little bit further. The main thing that I want to do tomorrow is actually go through and show you how to get your first deal. For those of you guys that may or may not know, we actually did 4 days of training last week. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We did a combined 12 hours of training last week. 12 hours. What happened is everybody was like, wait, oh my gosh, can you please do more? This was so incredible. So I flew home from my 100-day trip and I got here in my studio and I decided I would do 2 extra bonus days for people. You are now on bonus day 1. We are going bonus day 2. For the first hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I'm going to recap a lot of the stuff we talked about last week so you don't have to go back and re-watch 12 hours of videos I did live, okay? So for those of you guys that were with me last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, how many of you guys are back here for these bonus days? Give me a me in the side comments, please. Okay. We had underwriting, spreadsheets, calling sellers. I called 7 different RV park sellers. It was incredible. If you want to go and watch those, I did all of that at a very high advanced level. In fact, there are people that own a lot of RV parks that were watching this, send me private message and they go, you are better on the phone than any person I've ever heard. I've already done that. Today are bonus day number 1 and bonus day number 2. Okay. Daphne says, is this 100% financing? Yes, we do a lot of 100% financing, but that's not through banks. Okay. Cool. Noah says, I'm doing my first deal. This goes into the training, so this will be really great. Let's get back into the topic at hand. So Noah Skiz, I think is your name. Noah Skiz, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm really good. So Noah, whenever you're doing your first deal, I'm going to argue most of the time you should take a finder's fee and not hold the property in your portfolio. Most people are not ready for rents, renters, landlord laws, lawsuits. They're not ready to go and do that level. But the paradigm shift that happens when you get paid on your first deal is so magnificent. And it's so liberating to get a chunk of money that you go, oh my gosh, I can duplicate this over and over and over. This is like a cash printing machine. If I were you, I would take a finder's fee on your first deal. And I think most people in here will probably want to do the same thing because here's the thing. Noah, how much do you make in your day job?
Actually, I'm a student.
Okay, you're a student, which is 0. Okay, cool. So any amount of money you make is basically amazing. Here's the reality is the average finder's fee is about $15,000 for about 15 hours worth of work, okay? Sometimes it's less, but in the beginning, it's about 15 hours of work for $15,000 finder's fee. And every time that you do another deal, that amount of work goes down and down and down and down to the point where now I can go get a $10,000 finder's fee in probably an hour to an hour and a half worth of work. So I would suggest you learn how to take finder's fees because this is now a skill. It's kind of like a coat of armor that you can put on yourself and you can go into battle and you will never worry about money as long as you live. I would take the finder's fee. It will install a chip in your brain that will tell you, for example, I still think this way. When I am faced with a massive bill, right now I've got a big pool in my house that has to be redone. It's a $250,000 expense. Okay, well, that sucks. But you know what? My average finder's fee when I'm doing these deals, my average finder fee is 15 grand. Okay. So how many finder's fees do I need to have to pay for that pool? I don't think in the way that most 9 to 5 people think, where they think, oh, I have to save up for 5 years for my little job that puts a little bit of money to the side and I got to do this and this. No, I just know how to go find a finder's fee. Anytime I need more money, my son has his 18th birthday is today. My wife and I decided to buy him a truck because he's been doing so great as a pilot. I'm like, okay, well, that's 3 finder's fees, basically. I'm going to go buy him a $45,000 nice truck. And I'm going to go and do 3 finder's fees. My suggestion for you, my friend, is one of the most powerful things you can put in your brain and change who you are is learn how to get a finder's fee, then get a finder's fee, and never forget that feeling as long as you live, because I will tell you, and this is something to write down, this is advanced Simon, my friend Simon. Financial freedom does not come from the amount of money you have in the bank. Why? Because it's going to constantly erode. They're constantly printing more of it. It's constantly going down. So financial freedom doesn't come from a big chunk of money. Financial freedom comes from the confidence in knowing that I can be dropped anywhere in the world and make a finder's fee of $15,000 in a matter of 2 days. I never worry about money ever again. I have not worried about money since 2013. I have been liberated from the feeling of, oh my gosh, I have a bill coming. Oh my gosh, my life insurance went up. Oh my gosh, my health insurance went up. Oh my gosh, my property taxes went up. Oh my gosh, I need to buy another car. Oh my gosh, we're having another baby. Because everything is solvable with getting a finder's fee and bringing something to another buyer. So Noah, I hope that answers your question. How many people in here are ready for a finder's fee for your first 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 deals? Okay. There you go. So most people are going to want that power. Most people are going to want by the end of today and tomorrow for you to go, that's what I need. I need to know, how do I just make 15 grand over and over and over and over? So going back to the story of this 24 unit, and we're going to talk a lot about RV parks and mobile home parks, et cetera. And by the way, for anybody that wants the replay of last week's training, which you will never watch, if you want those replays, we'll send them out to everybody by the end of the training tomorrow. I'll send them all to you guys. You can go watch them and take notes and do all the things. Whether you take action is another story, but you can go and take all the notes. Okay, so on this story, the 24-plex, okay, that I just closed yesterday, okay, the person who brought that 24-plex is somebody just like you, okay? Robin went with me to New Orleans, and she was in a training just like this with you, just like you. Let me type in New Orleans and get her photo. Okay, here we go. So this is me, Adam, and Robin, and my asset manager. So check it out. So Adam's on the left. He's been one of my students for years. There's Robin Schornenberg, and then there's right here Heidi, who's my asset manager. She is a student of mine, but she became an asset manager for my team. Robin was in a live training just like this with you, just like what you're doing right now on November 11th, 3:58 p.m. I'm doing a free training, and I bring up, don't worry about buying the first RV park. Worry about finding an appointment or setting an appointment for one of the leaders in my community, and I will pair you up with them. So I paired her up with Adam. She met him at my office and they became friends. She set an appointment for him to talk to the apartment building broker. Adam, who's obviously been trained by me for years, is the one that made the phone call. Robin didn't have to make the negotiation or structure the deal or worry about the paperwork, because that is daunting in the very beginning. That's the stuff that gets new people to overthink. So let me ask you this, everybody watching. If I could remove the need for you to worry about paperwork on your first deal, if I could worry about you having to overcome objections, if I could remove the need for you to have credibility, access to capital, private money lenders, and sales skills, I could remove all of those things, and have somebody else do it for you because I paired you guys up together, would that solve a lot of that overthinking problem that you all have? Yes or no in the comments, please. Would that solve literally all of it? Okay, so you then get to become one of these people. Now, what happened with Robin is I paired Robin, just like you, watching me free, watching on YouTube, watching on Facebook, whatever it is that you're watching on right now. Okay. She sets an appointment for Adam. Adam closes the deal. Adam calls me and goes, I don't know how to manage 24 units. I've been doing a ton of single family, but I think I'm ready for multifamily. And I go, no problem, Adam. I'll partner with you. See how that chain works? I start training Adam a couple years ago. Adam does hundreds of deals in single family. When Adam's ready to upgrade to multifamily, I partner with him or other people in the community partner with him and help him walk through the management. We walk through the property, we do the underwriting for him. So he didn't have to do that either, but he is the one that structured the deal, closed it with the broker. And then Robin, who is brand new, is the one that set the appointment. Do you guys see how you kind of go from small Mario to upgraded Mario to fire Mario, right? You get the mushroom first, you then get the fireballs or the squirrel suit, whatever it is that you're into, okay? And that is what I'm hoping for you guys is to understand these. Now, is that cool that Robin got paid $10,000 for setting an appointment? Did she close the deal? Did she, any of that stuff? Is that freaking cool? Okay. Tomorrow, for those of you guys who are like, hey, I want to find a leaders for you to pair up with, I will talk about how I pair people up with my leaders nationwide tomorrow and worldwide tomorrow. Okay. I will talk about that tomorrow for an hour. Okay. Can we not talk more about that today? I want to stay on topic. Are we all on the same page? Okay. Pace, I'm always afraid people are going to say yes. I've been learning for almost 7 years. So Stephanie Strong, I love this. This is great. So Stephanie Strong, let's talk about this for a little bit. You actually bring up a really good point of an image that I saved today. I was on my phone and I saw this image that you are basically describing. Check it out. How many people feel this in their freaking bones right now? How many people feel this in your freaking bones right now? It's almost like 7 years of your life. Okay. 7 years of your life mean nothing to you because all you're doing is just learning and 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 learning. Okay, cool. Give me a yes. So we all feel this way or you have felt this way. When I'm ready, I will start. Dead, done. Okay, cool. So let's see. I think it was What was her last name? Stephanie Strong. Was that her name? Let me see if that was her. Bring her up and we'll kind of talk through why this is so important for a lot of the newer people to understand why I build things the way I build them. Let's see, Strong. Yeah, Stephanie Strong. It was you. Okay, cool. Stephanie Strong, what's up? How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Stephanie, do you have children?
I have a full-grown child, yes.
Okay, cool. Your children are watching you, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
So that means all the time. I'm sure all the parents are
Yes.
like, my parents are watching me. My kids
Yeah.
are watching me all the time, whether I'm telling them what to do or not to do, they're just watching what I do. And so
Right.
you are in learning mode, you're not in earning mode. And so I was the same way. So funny enough, I tried for 7 years to get my first deal. And that's actually kind of a lie. Okay.
Okay.
You are actually way more honest than what I just said. A lot of people will say, I tried to get my deal for 7 years. So when I was 22, I promised myself I was going to get into real estate. I didn't get my first deal till I was 30. Why was that such a long time? Why did it take me so long? Because I lied to myself that I was actually trying to do deals when I was reading books, going to seminars, paying for, $5,000 course here, doing this, whatever else. I literally took zero action for 7.5 years. Is that basically where you are?
No, I mean, I've almost had like several deals and I'm hooked up with the real estate entrepreneurial community over here where I live. And I just like I don't know, I'm just every time I've almost had these great deals and I just get cold feet right when they say yes. I'm just like, and then I back out.
Okay, so what you're missing is what I was missing when I was 30. What you're missing is somebody like an Adam, somebody like a Pace that literally goes, "Hey,
Yeah.
Stephanie, let me be your buyer. I will literally, when they say yes or they say no, let me. Do you ever watch me online and see me call
Yes.
sellers or agents or
Yep.
whatever?
I watch you all
Are
the
those
time.
my
Yeah.
leads? Whose leads are those?
Everybody else's.
Those are my students' leads, right? I
Right.
teach them how to generate leads. I close them, or other thousands of leaders in my community are closing them, so that when they say yes, you don't have to worry about what happens next. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is the big difference. And so for me, and I want people to understand this, you are also going to be stuck in learning mode if you don't have a credible buyer that knows what they're doing. And so what you do is either A, you're embarrassed to ask, or B, you haven't found the right person. And you continually say this thing of like, well, I know I want to do it. I know I want to do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. Let's pull up. Let me see if I can bring up New Orleans real fast. And I think I have a photo of me and the broker. Okay, cool. So check this out. Um, right here, this is what you're missing, my friend. So check this out. This gal, okay, this is the 24 unit multifamily. So let's point out all the people here. So the girl in the light blue hoodie is Heidi. She's one of my students from 5 years ago. She ended up joining my team. This is Robin, who is brand new student of mine. And this guy in the pink shirt is the broker talking to Heidi about the property. The guy in the light blue shirt is the guy learning from the broker. Adam is my student who's buying the deal with me. And then this guy in the red shirt is the handyman walking through the property and giving a quote on the property. Okay.
Okay.
Now, when I look at this image, I see the entire support system that everybody needs. Now, I'm the one taking the photo, so of course I'm there also. But what did I do? I'm the one that coordinated and made sure that all the resources, all the ability for people to do their job are all there. And then I have thousands of people nationwide and actually worldwide are doing the same thing. So when you have an appointment to call a seller, or you have an agent, or you have an opportunity, you shouldn't be the person closing that deal in the very beginning, because of exactly why I was afraid is why you're afraid, which is I actually hoped they would say no.
Yeah, me too.
I hoped they would say no.
Yeah.
And when they say yes, I'm like, oh crap, what do I do next?
Right.
So Robin sets the appointment. Adam closes the deal. Adam then calls me and goes, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, Adam, you've closed hundreds of deals. He goes, yeah, but I've done that in single family. And I'm like, Adam, you're a multimillionaire. He goes, yeah, but I've done that in single family. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's upgrade to multifamily. I will jump in this deal. Let's do the thing. And so I came in with the money, the ability to raise the capital, my team to manage the asset, and Robin sitting there on site learning every single minute. This, my friend, Stephanie Strong, is what you are missing. Would you say that that is correct?
Yes.
Or do you need
100%.
another book?
No, I don't need another book. No.
Or do you need
No.
another video?
No, I really don't.
Or do you need another seminar?
No.
Okay, so do we understand the thing that you are missing, my friend?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I agree with you, and this is where a lot of people are going to go, well, Pace, this is beginning. Are you going to talk, Pace, aren't you going to talk about RV parks and multifamily and mobile home parks? Yes. But if all I do is give you information, that's all I do is give you information, how to comp, how to find, how to da 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 da. Stephanie, let me ask you to unmute real fast. Stephanie, you've watched videos of how to call sellers. You've watched videos how to negotiate. You've watched videos of how to underwrite. You've watched comping videos, and it still has not resulted in a deal, correct?
Well, no, I've called and I've talked to people and actually and one time
Stephanie, you told me you don't have a deal. You haven't done a deal in
yes,
7
okay,
years.
yes. Yeah.
So just keep it, the answer yes.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes.
So what happens is a lot of people are like, just give me the information. That's the Simons of the world. No offense to Simon, I get a pick on him today, but Simon will sit there and go, give me all the information. Well, Stephanie, you are proof, and a lot of other people in here are proof. I'm proof that information alone will actually debilitate and cripple you. Okay. Do we all agree with this? Give me a yes in the comments. This will cripple you if all you do is get an overload of information. If you don't understand the why, the who, the when, you're going to have a hard time. And if you don't have the resources to do these deals, you are going to have a hard time. So I like to knock these problems in people's minds out very early, so that as we go through the education and talk about RV parks and mobile home parks, you're not sitting there going, well, how would I get the deal done? Do we not already kind of know? Okay. Steph, somebody says, how long has this been training going on for? It's been going on for an hour and 9 minutes. Okay. There we go. So Nico Jordan. Okay. Nico Jordan says, I'm new. I've been trying to pair up with buyers in a Facebook group. Okay. Would it change your life, my friends, Nico, if I paired you with a buyer that can do the hard work for you because I paired them with a buyer 3 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago in my community? By the way, can I tell you the best part about Robin? Robin is closing her first RV park. She joined my community in June. She teed up an apartment complex like within a week. She's getting paid 10 grand on that. She has a couple of other finder's fees she's made along the way. Single mom of 3 kids is going to own her first RV park on November 18th. So in 7 days, she will own her own RV park. In a matter of months, she's now going from let me find deals to let me own those deals because I had all the resources, I had all the help, I had everybody available to me. And that is the difference. Okay. And so what happens, Nico, is would it change your life if I actually paired you up with that person? If I gave you the person that has been trained by me for 3 or 4 years to you and I introduce you together like Robin and Adam, they met in my office face to face and I introduced them. Would that make the difference for you? Instead of scouring through Facebook and going through ChatGPT and this, that, and the other, and just floundering about, would that actually change your life? Would that give you the resources you need to go from little Mario to big Mario to fire Mario? Okay. Awesome. Very, very cool. Cool. So for those of you guys, what I'm hoping to do between today and tomorrow is to show you how you guys can go from little Mario, who's afraid to go and, fight King Koopa. And I hope I want to give you mushrooms so you feel bigger, stronger, and you understand. So you're going to understand you're missing some things. You are. It's not, very rarely is it information. Most of the time you're missing a person that's already done the thing. You're missing a resource in that person that's done the thing, and you're missing that person who is financially incentivized to help you get through. That's what you're missing. Stephanie, Nico, and other people are missing the same thing. Okay. All right. So let's go through. Again, the best way to get started is to find a deal for somebody else. Okay. So bird dogging is the lowest entry level into this business. Bird dogging means I don't have to be the one that negotiates. I don't have to be the one that locks up the contract. I don't have to be the one that's the credible buyer. When Robin called that broker and set the broker up with Adam, all she had to do was say, hi, my name is Robin. I'm brand new, but I have a buyer that might be interested in this 24-plex. Can I set up an appointment to have him talk to you? How many people feel like you could do that script? Hi, my name is Robin. I'm brand new to real estate, but I have a great buyer that I think would be great for you to chat with. Can I set up an appointment for you and him to talk to each other? That is how you get started in real estate, and you cut out that 7 years of what Stephanie's talking about. You cut out the 7 years of what I'm talking about, and you actually start making money. Okay. So there you go. Dave Hansen says, this has been me for 30 years. Okay. That sounds easy. It is easy. Okay. It really is that easy. Okay. So when you ask, how do I get started? I just answered that for you. You start by doing something that is so absolutely possible for where you're at right now. You take action. The way you take action is step number 1. In order for you to do this business, whether it's single family, Section 8, Airbnb, whatever it is, the first thing you should do is go, I want to get paired up with a buyer. And we'll talk about that tomorrow, but I want to get paired up with a buyer so that when I have it, all I have to do is set an appointment on the things that they are looking for. Okay. And today I want to talk about asset types like RV parks, mobile home parks, Airbnb, Section 8, all of those types of things. So you understand what we can all do with creative finance. But step number 1 is you're going to want to be paired up with a buyer so that any activity you do and you get stuck, that buyer can help you unstuck. Instead of going, oh my gosh, you just tell your prospects, you tell your broker, you tell your seller, you tell the agent, I'm brand new and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm brand new and I don't know what I'm doing, but I have a buyer. I'm brand new and I don't know what I'm doing, but I have a buyer. Can I put them on the phone with you? That is the hardest thing you will have to do when you are brand new. That is the hardest thing you will have to do. Okay, so that's step number one. Now, step number two is choosing what type of asset you want to choose and what you want to go after. Okay, and so what I want to jump into is asset types and why I love RV parks, why I love mobile home parks, and why you should potentially like them as well. So let's start out with single family. Asset type, right? Single family, something where families live in, houses that are standalone houses, single family, right? This is the predominant asset class in the country. The number one advantage to single family is that there are so many transactions happening every single day in single family that you could do a deal in single family every single day, 2 a day, 3 a day. For me, as I'm traveling around the country and helping people get their first deal, again, creativenationtour.com, make sure you guys go there. As I'm doing that, do you think I'm trying to lock up RV parks and mobile home parks and apartment buildings? Or do you think I'm going after single family because there's so many opportunities? What do you guys think I'm going after? Give me the answer in the side chat. If I'm going into your town and I'm doing a meetup, which I am, why would I go right after single family? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Okay. There you go. Kyle says you went to a single family last night. There you go. The reason why I went to single family is because there are only, please write this down, Amal says, so when do I find out about their bunnies? Amal, you are asking a question. I'm going to teach you guys how to be better newbies today. Okay, I'm going to teach you how to be better newbies. Amal, we're going to teach you how to be a better newbie today. Okay, Amal? Amal, what up, man? How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Is your name Amal or is that your husband's name?
No, my name is Emil.
Emil. Okay. Okay, Emil, let me teach you how to be a better newbie, okay?
Okay.
You are asking a question that you currently don't deserve the answer to quite yet. And what I mean by that is we haven't talked about generating leads and opening up the conversation, the dialogue quite yet. We're at the point where we're trying to decide which asset type to go after and why you should go after one or the other. I want to make sure that you guys understand what I teach, which is creative finance in general, can be done on every single asset type. So 1 month, you'll see me training on how to buy a business. Why? Because I buy businesses with creative finance. The next month, I'll be talking about how do I buy mobile home parks? Well, why do I, oh man, can Pace make up his mind? Yeah, I did. I made up my mind a long time ago. I do creative finance and all of these asset types fit underneath creative finance. So I can go to whatever I want to buy. I'm not really changing my mind. I am doing creative finance, which is mean avoiding banks, using none of my own money, no credit, whatever. So what I want you to really think about right now, instead of jumping 7 steps ahead, I want you to think, what asset type should I focus on? Because if I understand what type of asset type I'm going to focus on, Emil,
Yes.
when I pair you up with a buyer and you want to go after multifamily, should I pair you up with a Section 8 single family buyer?
No.
So do you see why it's more important right now for us to decide what asset type we should focus on rather than how do I qualify the seller? How do I ask the right questions, et cetera? Would that be a little bit better to find the asset type?
I agree with that.
Okay, cool. So I'm just letting you guys know when I was new, I would ask questions like we're on letter A or B. We're actually like on letter C right now. When I was brand new, I would ask questions like letter L, M, N, O, P. I like skip 15 letters in the alphabet because I was just so curious about that letter, right? I had like ADHD and I would focus all over the place. And then I would get off, trainings and I would be like, man, I'm so all over the place. I don't even know where to start. Meanwhile, I'm telling you literally what you need to do to start. We need to get you a buyer. Okay, cool. In order for us to get you a buyer, we need to find out what asset type you're going to focus on. Okay. And then we're going to talk about how do you reach out to those asset types in order to tee up your buyer. Does that make sense, Emil?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going in the proper order. Buyer first, buyer first,
Uh-huh.
asset type next, so I know how to pair up with those right buyers. And then number 3, we're going to show you how to reach out to those people and find those opportunities. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so guys, what will happen when you are brand new? Are we all a little bit guilty of asking questions that we're not quite ready for? We're not quite deserving of, yeah, as a human being, you deserve whatever you want. But when you're learning, you need to keep things in chronological order. We all agree with this? Okay. Stephanie says, probably. Man, some of you guys are your worst enemies. You know what I'm saying? You guys are like so impatient that you're like, just tell me how to call it. Guys, I have 3,700 videos on YouTube calling sellers, negotiating sellers. I have eBooks. I have freebies. I have so many things. The information in the wrong order is going to fluster you. Okay. And you are going to walk off going, man alive, I still don't have a deal. Okay. So if you need money now, okay, if you need money now, like this week, next month, whatever, and you need repeated quick hits, okay, over and over and over and over, asset type that you should focus on is single family. Okay, so as a comparison, RV parks, there are only 18,000 RV parks in the country. In the entire country, there's only 18,000 RV parks. Now, over the next 10 years, those RV parks are going to double. Okay, so we'll be at 35 to 40,000 RV parks in this country in the next 10 years. So the volume and the demand is massive, but that's still actually not a lot of RV parks. It's just not. Okay. Now, one RV park you can buy and quit for the rest of your life, whereas one single family, if you buy a rental, you're not going to be able to quit off that one single family rental. However, if I'm looking for finder's fees, okay, I want finder's fees, I want to find opportunities for my buyer in the very beginning, what asset type should I find and what asset type should I go after if I want to get a check once every week or once every 2 weeks? Should I be going after RV parks, mobile home parks, or should I be going after single family? Okay. Now, it doesn't matter what type of thing you want to go after. I will find and pair you up with a buyer. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. Okay, so Leonard Quintero, he asked a question. This is great. Leonard Quintero says, Pace, can this be done overseas? Guys, have we covered that for at least 10 minutes today? You see how I cover those things in the very beginning? Have we covered that today? Okay. Okay, so my brother, you got to show up on time. If you show up late, you're going to learn things out of the wrong order, and I'm not going to go back, sadly, because I am live and I want to go forward, okay? Awesome. Cool. So single family is amazing, but here's the thing about single family, okay? Single family is an asset type that you will outgrow at some point. Okay, so if you are somebody that wants to go into single family because you're like, I need money now, I need quick money, I need repeatable money that comes over and over at least once a month, twice a month, I can find deals for other people, get paid $5, $10, $15, $25,000 a couple of times a month. Single family is the right thing for you. And I can show you how to get started with that by pairing you with a buyer. I can talk about that more tomorrow, but I can show you how to set appointments and help those people out for sure. But if you are somebody that is like, I love my job, I love what I'm doing, and at some point I want to own RV parks, mobile home parks in the next 3, 6, or 7 months, I just want to start finding an RV park for somebody else so that they can get paid a finder's fee. Okay. So if you want to get a finder's fee on an RV park, now your finder's fees are a little bit heavier. Sometimes they're 15, sure. Sometimes they're 25. I paid somebody $90,000 on an RV park for finding the lead. They did not close the deal. They did not do the paperwork. They did not qualify for it. And I will now show you guys that RV park and kind of tell you that story. However, that RV park, even though we got it under contract very quickly, it took 4 months to close. And I want you to understand the difference between some of these bigger RV parks is that yes, they'll pay higher finder's fees, but also there'll be parks that you want to own and you can quit your job very quickly off of these parks. But if you're starting, do not plan on getting your first RV park finder's fee within your first 30 days, because even if you get it under contract, it's still going to take 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 5 months to close that RV park. And so if you ever get started with me and you end up getting paired with somebody in my community and I pair you with a buyer that knows what they're doing, you got to tell me what you need. You got to tell me, I need single family because I need something that I can get paid within the next 30 days. Single family, you can pay and get paid very quickly. How many people are like, I'm going to start on RV parks because I don't need today money. I want larger chunks and I want to go after retirement type of money. Give me a me if that's you. Okay, so that's why creative finance is amazing, because creative finance can do both, right? I teach people how to do single family, RV park, self-storage, buying businesses. Creative finance encompasses all of these things, and you can start in all of these asset types by setting appointments for other people. Okay, Marcus says, I need your brain. Well, a lot of my students already have my brain. You probably just need access to those students and be paired up with them is probably what you really need. So let's jump into an RV park, and I'll break down the financials of this RV park, and we'll talk about some seasonality. We'll talk about a P&L for this RV park. I'll tell you a story of how to get these types of deals done. Okay, cool. Let's see, 20. Okay, cool. So this is a picture of me and a couple of my students hanging out in Texas. Jordan Reyes, you guys can see him right here in the lower right-hand side. These are all students of mine. This is Jordan Reyes in the bottom right. This is Landon Moore, Kevin Cho, and we are in Montana. This is Anthony. He lives in Montana. This is Chris Geddes, who used to live in Montana. Now he lives virtually. He travels all over and does deals. He owns car washes now. It's awesome. He used to work at Google, quit Google. These are all my students that just came and hung out with me for the day. Jordan Reyes, brand new student at the time, okay? Brand new student at the time, says, what are you looking for? I want to find you a deal. And I said, Jordan, I'm looking for RV parks and I want to buy them in Montana. Okay, cool. So what did Jordan do? Jordan followed instructions, which I'll talk about a little bit later, of how do I find these deals? And what Jordan did is he actually set an appointment for me, okay? So let's go to Glacier Peaks RV Park and Campground. This is one of my parks that I own. And let's talk about how maybe this would work for your future. Like, what is the outcome of what this training is today? Jordan learned from me the same way you're learning from me right now. He started out on YouTube, started on Facebook, started learning from some of my free stuff, okay? And here is the park, the first park that we bought, okay? So check this out. This park, which you can pull up, you can verify I own this park. Look at this, 200 reviews, 4.4. When I bought it, it was like 3.4 star reviews. This park I bought for $5 million. That sounds scary for people that are not ready to own parks. This park, which I will bring up the financials in a little bit for some of the people that are like, oh my gosh, I need to see financials, Pace. I need to see a spreadsheet. If I don't see a spreadsheet, I'm not learning anything. I will bring that up in a little bit. Okay, so Jordan Reyes, brand new student, less than even a week into SubTo, calls the broker on this RV park, okay? You guys can probably hear my kids screaming in the background. This is what happens when I don't have access to my studio. You hear all the kids screaming. So Jordan Reyes calls the park broker, okay? And the broker says, sure, I'll meet you at the property. And so Jordan sets an appointment for me and the broker. I call the broker and we literally meet right here in the park, right here, literally right there. We meet right here on this dot. And we sit there and talk about the park. And I convinced the broker to get the seller on the phone to talk to the seller about doing a seller finance deal. I converted the seller. I negotiated with the seller. My team verified that I was able to manage that park. My team was able to show the seller that we were credible. My CPA got on the phone with the seller CPA to show him how we can avoid capital gains tax. I know that'll go over somebody's head. And we bought this park for $5 million. I raised the down payment. So here's the structure, $5 million purchase. The seller says, I want $250,000 down. That's 5% down. So we gave him $250,000. I brought in a private money lender of $250,000 on that park. That $250,000 paid for Jordan Reyes to make $60,000 on his first park. I paid him $30,000 a week later on his second one he did with me, which I'll talk about in a second. And then it paid for the closing costs, and I'm in the park, no money out of pocket, no credit check, no W-2, no tax returns. Nobody looked at my bank records. Nobody looked at anything, no license, nothing. That is how I buy real estate. That is how I buy businesses. The seller is retiring. His name is Eric. And Jordan, I told Jordan, I said, Jordan, not only will I pay you 60 grand on this, but if you find me another park, I'll pay you another 30. So check it out. Jordan then finds me this park, which I then negotiate. I did the paperwork, I qualify for, and Jordan got paid another 30 grand. The cool thing is I gave Jordan 10% ownership of the park because he found me 2 parks back to back. So in his first couple of weeks in SubTo, he got paid $90,000 and he got 10% ownership of the park. Did he have to qualify for anything? Did he have to negotiate? Did he have to overcome the objections? Did he have to show the proof of funds? Did he have to do the contract? Did he have to do the follow-up? Did he have to do any of the transaction coordination? Did he have to manage the park whatsoever? Is this what you, my friend, should be doing? Yes or no? Should you be going out and trying to cold call these and lock them up yourself and trying to qualify these? Or should you bring them and tee them up to somebody with a little bit more experience, a little bit more everything, and get paid a significant chunk of money for finding the opportunity? Okay. That is how you start. So again, when people say, but how do I start? Have I answered the question, how do I start today? Can we all, after this training today, stop saying, I don't know where to start? Because on 11/11, okay, 11/11, I told you guys exactly how to get started. Did I not? Give me a yes. Okay. Did I tell you how to get started? Okay. We are done with that question of how do I get started? It's been answered. Now, whether you want to take action on it or not is a different problem. You might want to go, Pace, where do I find a therapist to get over my trauma of not taking action because I'm so comfortable with my life? That's another you question I can't solve. If you are so comfortable in your life that you don't want to actually do anything, that's some trauma from your mama that you go to a therapist to solve. I'm not going to be able to solve that problem necessarily. Okay. Cool. So this park makes a lot of money. So let's pull up this park. It is a seasonal park. So let's walk through how I did a seasonal park and let's walk through how I manage it. So this park is managed by a girl named Jen. I took Jen over from Eric. I'm going to say that again. Did I hire a park manager or did the park manager come with the park? I got Jen in the transaction. Okay. I took Jen over. Jen manages both parks. They're a mile away from each other, and I'm buying now a third park from another student. We just got it under contract this morning. So tomorrow I will break down that deal that's coming from a different student just a couple of miles down the road. You might ask the question, well, why doesn't Jordan just keep bringing you deals? Has anybody asked that question? Why doesn't Jordan just keep bringing you deals? Why did Jordan only bring you 2 deals? Because he started buying them himself. Because when he watched how it worked and he actually made money on the transaction and he could show proof of concept, he could now go and do it on his own. He now owns 5 parks on his own. He was taught by me and my team, and he was paid to learn. He was earning and learning, which is the way you should be doing this. You shouldn't be going and just learning and 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 learning. That is not going to get you where you need to be. Okay. And so that is where Jordan is now. So I'm going to show you guys the financials for that park so you guys can see how that park is doing financially. And I want you guys to kind of have a dream in your mind of like, if I had one park, I could quit my job. Okay, cool. A couple of finder's fees gets me the momentum. That gets me the momentum, but owning one park is enough to quit your job. Okay. So the financials for this, I will pull up. And then I also want to show you guys something kind of cool. I get so many emails from Molly, so I got to figure out where the heck this is. Texas RV parks. Ooh, these, I'll show you guys the Texas RV parks tomorrow. These are awesome. Okay, cool. So here's the financials. For those of you guys that really, really, really like financials, we are going to go through and show you guys the financials. Let's see here. Net income, I think this is 173. Okay, cool. June of 2025. Okay, cool. Big Springs. Okay, awesome. I've got 2 parks I'll show you guys. 36. Okay, awesome. So here are the financials of both of the parks that I just showed you guys. Okay, now I'm not going to walk through 100% of these financials because they can be daunting, but I want to show you guys at the very top for all my nerds. Okay, this is a seasonal park. Okay, you guys can take a screenshot of this if you really want to, but this is a seasonal park. I will pull it back up in a second. Seasonal park, meaning some of my parks make money every month, no matter what the month is, every single month, the same amount of money. Okay. My Big Spring, Texas parks are like every month, it's to the same dollar every single month. It's reliable. Other parks like Montana, my Montana RV park is right next to Glacier National Park. And so when it's close to a national park, it's going to have a massive amount of people come in the summertime, right? Vacations, all of those things. That's what RV parks are for. It's recreation. And so tons of money is made in 7 months, and then you lose money during the 5. So what do you do as the operator is for the first year, you actually don't take a paycheck. That's what I did. The first year we owned this park, I decided not to take a paycheck. So I wanted to see what this seasonality looked like. And we just let the bank account accrue and accrue and accrue over time. So let's go back into the financials so you guys can see what this park did. Okay. So if you look at the top, you'll see at the very top, monthly rental income. Okay. July is obviously my heaviest month. Okay. July is my heaviest month, $122,000 in 1 month in revenue. That's freaking awesome. August, okay, so you make all your money in like June, July, August, September, and then boom, everything drops down. So check out my net income, okay? Cool. I need you to understand something that this seller gets paid on my seller finance on this as well, okay? Check this out. Do you guys see this line? Give me a thumbs up. You see this line, this $18,000 that I pay every single month out of this line item is my private money lender and the seller's payment. Okay, I pay the seller every single month because he is my bank. I pay him every single month. That $18,000 is where that comes from. Okay, that's where the seller gets paid. I buy it, he's my bank. I'm paying it just like he's my bank. And what happens is, look at my net income. I have some months where I make 33 grand. I have other months where I make 91, 64, 23. But at the end of the year, this one park made me $181,000. That was our first month in that park, or that for our first year in this park. We already in July, which we've already done. So we owned this park for our first year. We netted $181,000. Then we went through July, August, September, October this year, and we almost doubled the numbers from last year because better marketing. And this is crazy. I know this is crazy, and you're going to understand how simple this is when you own these parks. I don't manage them. I have people that live on the parks and manage them. I have a manager that lives on site that they treat this like their own home. These 2 parks that I bought them actually from the same seller, and they are 1.5 miles away from each other. Okay, so the first park was making 180, it will be around 300 grand when we finish the improvements, but this park makes $181,000 net. Okay, so I want to ask in the side chat, is that money I can take and now quit my job over that $181,000? Yes or no? Can I use that money to quit my job? Yes or no? Now, some people are making $300,000 in their job. That's not the question I'm asking. I'm asking, is that free money that goes in my pocket? Yes or no? The answer is yes. That $181,000 has every last expense. It has vacancy, job supplies, payroll. It has literally everything. That $181,000 is discretionary income, or as we call in the business, free cash flow, meaning it's mine. It's $181,000 every single year. How many people can quit your job over that money? Eve Revden says, where's the $181,000 on your spreadsheet? I'll show you. If you look in the lower right-hand corner down here where I sum it all up, here, I'll put it closer so you can see it. I can just go and highlight all of these numbers added up together. It's $181,000 net. How many people could quit your job over that one thing right now? Okay, cool. So now let's go to my other park, my smaller park. Okay, my smaller park netted, ooh, that's pretty good. My smaller park netted $173,000. Oh my word. $173,000. So let's add that up. Between and this is the first year of owning it, our last summer that we did this, I'll tell you guys what we fixed on the park to make it go higher. Okay. Now, what's fun, yeah, it's $354,000, yes, but I want to show you guys what I net and where these things are. These two silly little RV parks right here. Okay, this is one RV park. You guys can pull this up as well. It's called Mountain View RV Park. See that and verify I own it. This one makes me $174,000. This park over here makes me $181,000. Okay, larger park. We are currently taking a lot of that money and see these red roofs in this white roof. We are actually tearing this all out right now and reinvesting our profits into expanding the park with tiny homes because we think self-storage is kind of a waste of money. A lot of people are excited about self-storage. Self-storage is kind of a waste of money. You can make way more money in RV parks and way more money in tiny homes than I can make in self-storage. So these units at this park, you see at this park, I have these little red roofs. Those are cabins. Those are little tiny homes. We installed a bunch of them here, and this photo is outdated right here as well. You can see I have 4 more tiny homes here we built. We're going to fill all this area up with tiny homes, and then we're tearing out this little area right here, the red and white roof. Why? Well, because our self-storage facilities on the property are bringing in $3,000 a month. One tiny home on that park will bring in $4,000 a month during peak season, and I can fit 20 of them there. I can take my revenue from $91,000 to $170,000 a month by taking out those stupid self-storage on that property. Now, does that mean I hate self-storage as an asset class? No, it just doesn't make sense on this property, and we're going to tear it out. Where does that money come from? It comes from the profit that has been brought in from this park, $354,000. Now, the deal structure, when we originally bought this park, the deal structure was $250,000 down payment. I brought that in from a private money lender. In my first year of owning the park, I made $354,000 in owning the park net. That is free cash flow, discretionary. I can do whatever I want with it. I could buy gummy worms. I could buy sushi. I could buy whatever I want. I took that $354,000, paid off the $250,000, and I took home $100,000 in my first year of ownership. Does that make sense, everybody? What I did with the park, how I bought the park, how Jordan made money on the park. Everybody understand how this all works. Now, do I want to go out setting appointments for myself, or do I want to go and operate more parks and buy more parks? Where should I be spending my time? And this is where you have the ability to provide value to somebody who's 2 steps ahead of you. There's a big Mario, or a Mario that's like in, his squirrel suit or his fire suit or whatever, and you're the baby Mario. You want to become that Mario. You want to become the person that can repeat this over and over and over. Okay. Yeah, we should get a full swimming pool. Now that's how you're riding around on a tour bus. That is right. Okay, cool. So best use of my time is not setting appointments. And so what I do is I train hundreds of you guys to set appointments for my students so that those students can go be better operators and be able to invest their time where their time is better served. And we can help upgrade you guys into their position. That is where you get started, how you get started. Okay. Now, what's fun about this is that Jordan Reyes become a good friend of mine. I've done deals with dozens of other students on RV parks, but now they mostly do deals with themselves. I'll kind of show you a fun text message I got just the other day, actually. One of my students, okay, check this out. She just sent this to me a couple of days ago. Rinda Emick, one of my students, she says, Right here, she says, hey, officially under contract on a new long-term park. Okay, right here. Officially under contract on our new long-term park. Thanks to the 990 and sending LOIs weekly. I'm bringing Chelsea from her team. She's freaking out. It's the coolest thing I've ever. Check this out. The deal came from a bird dog right here. The deal came from a bird dog. This is the part you need to understand. The deal came from a bird dog. Then they said Bison Peak, which is another student of ours. They also just got another park under contract from a bird dog. This is how this works. I train you on how to set appointments for these students. I pair you up with these students so that you can take that next step and you can then become one of them, essentially, if that makes sense. Now, Rinda is buying RV parks like crazy, but let's figure out what happened with Jordan Reyes. Let's go to Big Fork. Oh, this is so cool. Let's see if we can find his park in here. Big Fork, Big Fork. Let's see, Montana. This year in Montana, I had a blast, man alive. It's so cool to be able to do what I do. So Jordan Reyes this year calls me up and he goes, man, I'm closing on my first RV park. It's $5 million. Thank you for changing my life. The agent asked me when I first called, hey, what do you know about RV parks? And Jordan Reyes was able to say, well, I have done these 2 RV parks down the road. Here's my partner. Here's proof that I've done the thing. And Jordan Reyes was able to use his own credibility on his first park that he gained by doing a deal with me. And the park, he calls me up and he goes, man, I want to celebrate. When are you going to come to Montana? I said, I'll come to Montana as soon as you close on the park. So this year he closed on the park. I stopped by and we had a meetup, and I want to show you this. It's kind of a fun little cool thing to be able to go and celebrate somebody else's win. And let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Man alive. So cool. I have so many Montana photos. It's like the place you take all the photos. Okay, here we go. Boom. So we had a meetup right here. This is Jordan. This is one of his 5 parks now that he owns. We celebrated. We brought in a food truck. We brought about 100 other students, and we all came and hung out and celebrated his win. So when I say community, I truly mean community. People are actually coming out and celebrating his win. Him and Jennifer Breitbach, who is another student, they partnered on this deal, and they'll make a couple of $1 million. They're actually separating out each one of the parcels and selling it off. Think about how fast that goes. He sets an appointment. A year later, he's partitioning off his own RV park. That is the superpower that you need to have, but you've got to get there by setting appointments for other people. Okay. So here's the thing is when you start jumping into RV parks, the benefit to an RV park or a mobile home park is primarily going to be affordability. A lot of my tenants, you'll find them in my parks, you'll find these tenants are renting from me because it's affordable. We have people that are in this part of our park. Let's see. I don't want to share my whole screen. We have people that are in this part of the park, down here in the back corner, that are renting almost full time. Now, what do they get? These people are renting for about $1,000 a month. They are renting $1,000 a month. They get utilities, they get plumbing, they get the water taken care of, they get landscape taken care of, and they get to travel and go and see things all over the country. A lot of them will come in for months and months at a time. Is our world heading to a place where affordability is going to be the #1 problem if it already is not the #1 problem? And if you are focusing on the wrong asset type, what's going to happen in 5 years, 7 years, when people can't even afford their rents anymore, and AI is coming for everybody's jobs, believe it or not. Some people will go, oh, that's not going to happen. I'm like, have you seen the robots already? Did you guys see the job losses that happened last month? We had the slowest month of job growth in 29 years this in October. Okay, it is scary. So if I'm afraid of the future, do I want to have a job? Yes or no? Do I want to have a job in 5 years? Do I want to have a job in 3 years? Do I want to have a job in 7 years? Do I want to have a job in 10 years based on where the economy is going, based on where technology is going, based on where affordability is going? Do I want that? Yes or no? Amazon, $60 billion in cuts and 30,000 jobs. Okay? It's out of control. Okay? It's out of control. So the reality is you want to be able to have a park where people can afford to stay. This is the same thing with mobile home parks, which I'll get into next. RV parks are beautiful because they not only solve the problem for the person that's working on the road, they're in their RV, they're traveling around the country. There's full-on websites that these guys, it is the craziest world I did not know existed until about 5 years ago. I had a student of mine in 2020 asked me to loan money to him on an RV park. And I was like, absolutely, would love to. He bought it with Creative Finance. I had never owned a park at that time. I was just lending on parks over and over. And I loaned money on this park. And he tells me, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna make like 300 grand in like 2 days. I'm like, wait, what? Tell me, what are you doing? I loan money on this park. He turns around and makes 300 grand on it. And I go, I gotta go see this. I fly up to Montana. I see what he's doing. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna go on a 6-month trip. And so me and my wife, 5 years ago, me and my wife went on actually a 6-month trip, and we traveled around the entire country and we looked at RV parks. We stayed in over 150 RV parks and we traveled the entire country, saw all of this. This is back when my little family was so small. Check this out. Oh my gosh, this seems like yesterday, actually. My son right here, Asher, just turned 18 today. My dog, Cheese, right there, she's dead now. We had Corbin, who's now 7, and we've had 2 children since then. This was in California. We took this photo because we were doing such a poor job of taking photos for ourselves. So this was in July of 2020. And I started traveling the country and I started looking at the people that are staying at these RV parks. And I thought, oh, it's just recreational people. Nope, it's definitely not. It is it's workforce housing, people that are going out and building things where there's not enough housing, they bring their parks in. Okay, Bozeman, Montana, for example. This is happening all over the country, but Bozeman, Montana, there are builders that will literally go in and rent out an RV park for 3 years for all their electricians, their plumbers, their concrete guys, and they're bringing these workers in from out of the country. And I'm like, okay, so this isn't just recreation. This is like affordable housing. And this is before the surge happened. I started seeing that this is going to solve affordable housing. These people aren't there for recreation. They're there because it's affordable. They can rent an entire spot in your park, utilities, internet, and power all included. They don't have to deal with landscape. They just up and leave. They're on a weekly contract. They can leave whenever they want. And I'm sitting there I think that this might be the wave of the future. This might be where I should start focusing my acquisitions. And at the time, I had 150 single family homes in my portfolio. I still, to this day, have 300. And I love single family, but in single family, most people are pivoting. Write this down. I will not be talking about this deeply today. Most people have started pivoting to pad split and co-living, Section 8, HUD-VASH, and nonprofit renters. Okay, nonprofit renters, where you can find them. You guys can find more information about this at a couple of different places. Okay. I won't talk about this in depth. We're actually going to do this training next month for those people that just want to keep doing training with me. We will be doing a free training on this kind of stuff next month. So check this out, padmission.com. Padmission.com gets you nonprofit tenants, people that get free tenants. I'm sorry, not free tenants. They get tenant money from the government to help homeless people live in homes. Okay, so this is not Section 8. This is from grants given from the federal government and from the local state municipality. So we're going to be bringing in the owner of Padmission next month, and we're going to be talking a lot about affordable housing and how single family can be converted into these types of units. And that's going to be next month's training. Okay. And maybe for those of you guys that are like, I'm cool, Pace, I'm not going to be a part of any action taking right now. I'm just going to keep learning from you. Sign up for that training. We'll do that next month, and we'll probably do it for 5 days. It'll be a 5-day training. How to find single family rentals, how to fill them up with nonprofit, co-living, etc. My point is traditional rentals, Airbnb, these types of rental strategies are not solving affordable housing. Therefore, they are taking a freaking hit. Okay. And I actually saw this on realdeal.com. I think it was I think it's therealdeal.com, but I'll pull this up. Yeah, therealdeal.com. You'll see that one of the largest Airbnb operators just filed bankruptcy today. Let's see, Sonder, there we go. Let's pull this up. This was one of the biggest short-term rental companies in the world, Sonder, filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy liquidation. They had a marriage with Marriott Group. They were tied at the hip with Marriott. Marriott's like, we're out on short-term rentals. This whole thing's imploding. Why? Why is short-term rental having a hard time? This is important for you to understand. This is people, why is he going on a tangent? I'm not. Because if you understand that the only way we make money in the world is by solving problems, that you need to go change the way you look at things. You go, I need to find problems that pay a lot of money. Do you want to go and solve short-term rentals like Airbnb and VRBO right now? Is that a problem that's paying money right now? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no in the comments. Okay, so do we want to solve Airbnb? No, the answer is no. And so many people see me talking crap about Airbnb. Guys, this is why I'm talking crap about Airbnb. The largest Airbnb operator in the world just filed bankruptcy. They had backing from Marriott Group. They had backing from Marriott Group, and they're filing bankruptcy. So do not give me this thing where people, oh, Pace just hates Airbnb. No, I know how to follow the hockey puck. What did Wayne Gretzky say? He says, Pace, my friend. Okay, I'm just kidding. He didn't say it to me. But what did Wayne Gretzky say? He says, the reason I win the game is because I go to where the hockey puck is going. I don't go to where the hockey puck is. Where is the world going? Is the world going Airbnb or is the world going affordability? If I can solve this with tiny homes on my RV parks, tiny homes on my mobile home parks, tiny homes in general, I can solve this with pad split, pad mission. I can solve this with nonprofits, Section 8. I can solve massive problems in our country. Will there ever be a shortage of people that need affordable housing? Yes or no? Will I ever run out of people that need affordable housing? Yes or no? Okay. We have waiting lists, people. That's the thing. I've never had a waiting list on an Airbnb. I used to have 75 Airbnbs. I have one left. I'm trying to get rid of that thing. I don't want to be an Airbnb. The hockey puck has been taken off the ice. Okay. So Airbnb is a waste of your time, but solving affordable housing is where you should be spending your time. So why is this important? If I'm a deal finder, if I'm starting out as a deal finder, don't I want to solve finding deals for people that are solving affordable housing? Nonprofits, Section 8. I'm in, one of my students just the other day has a 30 unit in, let's see, Omaha, Nebraska. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Roberto. Omaha, Nebraska. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska the other day with one of my students named Troy. He's got a 30 unit multifamily deal and the entire tenant base is nonprofit. All. He got rid of Section 8. He got rid of HUD-VASH. He only has people that are, let's see, Adler, Oklahoma, day 2. Let me see if I can pull this up, Roberto. Okay, let's see, Omaha. Sports, Fargo, da-da-da. Nope. Okay, here we go. I think this is it. Nope. I want you guys to see, there it goes, Omaha. Here we go. This is one of my students in Omaha, Nebraska. This is his 30 unit deal right here. This is one of his tenants, by the way, missing his fingers. These are 3 of my students. This is Troy in the middle that owns this 30 unit deal. The entire property is full of nonprofit tenants that came from pad mission. Okay. And this property, here's another one, 24 unit, different students, same city, Omaha, Nebraska. Okay. And that was a meetup I had last week. My point of bringing that up is everybody is focusing on affordable housing right now. They're focusing on, okay, well, the government's printing money for these things. The government wants to get these people off the streets. The government's making these things available so that you have guaranteed rents from the government. However, even when you are not focusing on government income, which I'm not focusing on that on my RV parks. Oh, hold on. Let me see if my audio is good. I know my microphone, I think my microphone just died. Can you guys still hear me okay? Okay, cool. Sorry about that. My microphone dies every once in a while. I'll charge it back up. Cool. So in the RV park world, by default, because all they're doing is renting dirt from us. Okay, they're just renting dirt from us. This is one of the most beautiful things about the asset class. The asset class of RV parks, what is there to maintain? Very little. One of the best parts about RV parks is, do I have tenant-landlord laws at an RV park? Do I have tenant-landlord laws where they can squat in their own unit on my park? No. What a beautiful thing. So even California, New York, New Jersey, I will buy RV parks in those states because there are no tenant-landlord laws because they are in their own vehicle. It's not a house. It's actually registered with the DMV. And so am I worried about landlord-tenant laws when I have this? And am I worried with an over amount of maintenance? Yes or no? Maria says, where? Yeah, see, there we go. Don Lee says you can get them towed out of the park, even in California. Okay. So, yay, everybody, all you guys living in Democrat states that hate business owners, guess what? You can do RV parks in those states because they do not have landlord tenant laws. If somebody's on your property and they're not paying you, tow them. They do not have squatters' rights. You are not pulling them out of their house. You are pulling them off of your property. It is trespassing because they do not have squatter rights because there's no domicile that you own. They own the domicile and you can pull them and put their domicile out on the street. Do they still have a place to live? Yes, they just need to go park in freaking Cracker Barrel or Home Depot parking lot, but they can't park here. For those of you guys that are in New York, New Jersey, Seattle, any of those cities or states, Oregon, another amazing place to own RV parks. How many of you guys are like relieved? Like you can do real estate now in those cities, in those states. A lot of my California investors are like, oh my gosh, I can do this in California. Yes, you can do this in California. Okay. Okay. You can do this in California. What about Georgia? Absolutely. Okay. What about tiny homes not on wheels? By default, so if you are doing tiny homes not on wheels, then you are in trouble. Our tiny homes have wheels. We put skirting around them. They have wheels. Okay. What a beautiful question. What a beautiful question. Okay. Isaiah says, I got to start looking for properties now. Got to start looking for properties now. Cool. So that is the beautiful thing about RV parks and mobile home parks is that they solve affordable housing. So let's talk about one of my mobile home parks. This thing prints money. We'll talk about the park I just got under contract today, but here's two things I want to do before I go into like some Q&A. Okay. I want to do some Q&A today and help answer questions as long as you guys promise to keep the topic at hand. RV parks, mobile home parks. I don't want to deviate onto like pace. I have a question about this multifamily I have. Will you call my seller? If you guys are in SubTo and you want me to call your sellers, have me call your sellers in the jam sessions we do in the mornings. Not here. In fact, if you guys are in SubTo right now and you are in this training, you probably should not be here. You should be watching the live training that's going on in my office of SubTo members doing deals with my team. That's where you guys should be right now, not sitting over here in this training, okay? All right, so let me talk about the tiny home thing, and let me talk about a Texas park that I own and where this came from, okay? And you guys can understand how to find these as well, okay? All right, cool. So let's go to, I think it's called West Texas Friendly RV Park. There we go. West Texas Friendly RV Park. Come on, get the heck out of here. West Texas Friendly RV Park. All right. So this park is one of two parks that I own in the city. You can see I own West Texas Friendly RV Park and I own West Texas Friendly RV Park North. Okay, this one is pretty small, but it prints money. Does this look like 100% occupied or 20% occupied? What's the occupancy, would you guys say, at this park? 50%, that's funny. I'd say it's about 70, 80% at this park. Okay, so here's another park we have right here. Somebody says it looks dead. Yeah, welcome to Texas. Everything looks dead. This is another park I own. What's the occupancy here? How many empty spots do we have in this park? It's like 95%. However, these are rented out already. Every one of these spots is rented out for 5 years. Okay, every one of these spots is rented for 5 years. And check this out. See this land expansion right here? Right now, me and my team have ordered 40 tiny homes. Okay, my team has just ordered 40 tiny homes to place in this area. Okay, we are currently in this park, this little park with, I'm going to pull up photos of this and I want to kind of ask you guys some questions. What do you guys think my maintenance costs are on this park? I want you to tell me what you think this actually requires in terms of maintaining it. Okay, I'll pull this up. You guys can see this park. And you tell me, this park makes net, by the way, when I say make, I don't say generate. This park puts in my pocket every month 23 grand. My friends in the side chat, how much maintenance does this park have? What am I maintaining here? Okay. Tell me in the side chat, what am I maintaining here? Dirt? A little bit of landscape? Okay. There's the park right there. I'm basically going to double the size. We have a waiting list at this park. Everybody also wants awnings, which is interesting. They want to pay extra $200 a month for the awnings. This is that park. You can see where I will expand is over here. And then even in the center, we'll be able to add another 10 spots here and about 30 spots over here. Okay. Somebody says $5,000 for landscape and maintenance. Okay. Interesting. Can I tell you guys what's interesting about RV parks? This is one of the most important things you guys need to understand is that these RV parks, I get free maintenance when I give free rent. So the person that does all my maintenance has a day job at another place, but because I give him free rent, which is $800 my cost, well, basically what I could rent his space for is $800. So for a cost of $800, he fixes everything at the park. He does all the landscape on Saturdays for $800 a month. Now, by the way, I need you to understand that's how every single park is. I've never owned a park. I've never seen a park that is other than that. Nobody is outsourcing their landscape maintenance at their parks. They let people live there for free. And for their free rent, their free utilities, they take care of the park 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 days a week. Okay. Who manages all the bookings? Great question. I have a girl that works inside of the office. Okay. And what's fun about this is that it's all an automated system. So it's all software that is being used at these parks that is all automated. So let's go and pull this up. And let's get ourselves a little walkthrough. I don't think I can get close enough to the park. Okay. This is about as close as I get to the park. Okay. So this park, as you can see, pretty basic, right? But this is every park in Texas, by the way. There is a girl that works in this little office right here. You can see over here is the laundry. She works right here in this office. That girl manages 2 parks by herself. She manages 2 parks by herself. She has 1 maintenance guy for that park, and that same maintenance guy goes to our other park. So 2 employees for 2 parks. When people ask about maintenance and management on a park, I thought the same thing. I'm like, who's managing this? Like, it's got to be a lot of coming and going. Well, guys, here's the reality. The largest maintenance item on these parks is actually the tenant's unit. Am I responsible for the tenant's maintenance on their RV? Am I responsible for a leak or a problem or roof damage or anything on their RV? The answer is no. I have no responsibility whatsoever. I don't get calls. People don't call me and say, hey, my thing is leaking. Hey, my hot water is not working. Those are all inclusive to their own unit. And so I'm not worried about anything other than landscape and bookings and collecting money. That is a girl in the office for 6 hours, 6 days a week. She has her daughter that can work inside the office with her. These are all the same type of employee. So same thing with my Montana parks. Okay, my Montana parks right here. I have a girl that works, her house is right here, 3185. You can see her house right here in the middle. She walks out, she has her kids play in the playground right here and the playground right here. She works right here in this RV park. She walks right into this little office right here, coin laundry office, and she works right in this little area. She manages the entire park. The only thing that needs to be managed here is landscaping. That's it. Same thing here. Let's go all the way down to my other park down the road. By the way, Montana is beautiful. You guys should just live there. It's freaking incredible. Let's see if we can find this park. Okay, it's the same thing on all of these parks. There's no difference on any of these parks. Now, there are some parks. I'm buying a park right now that has some restaurant attached to it, and we'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow. But this park right here, okay, there's nothing to maintain. There's nothing to worry about besides landscaping. Besides the landscape, the only thing to handle is our own office building and laundry facility. Okay. The maintenance guy, check it out. See this little house right here on the front? This is where the maintenance guy lives. It's a little old cottage. He lives here. He has his own little yard, and then he maintains the entire park. Repairs, sewage. Hey, there's somebody, saying they need some help loading or doing something, or hey, shoveling the snow. We have all of that done for free. All of those things are done for free. And so the reason why parks make so much money is because there's nothing to maintain. There's no surprise expenses. There's nothing like on a single family house. I can cash flow for 4 or 5 years, but then a pool goes bad. My pool goes bad. It takes out all my cash flow from the previous years. In an RV park, I'm making 12, 15, 20, even $30,000 in a month. That money gets to go in my pocket, stay in my pocket, and allow me to compound into other investments. In fact, right now, I've got one of my students expanding he owns the coolest or largest salmon guide company in the Kenai Peninsula in Alaska. So he takes people and does he's a tour guide, and he takes people out fishing. He just bought the land next to him on seller finance. He asked me to come in and help him out with the down payment. I'm coming in. He's expanding his park, 13 acres, and he's going to add more tiny homes. This is what's so cool is that even though it's seasonal, it makes a ton of money. He can take half the year off and work on his next deal. And so he was on a Zoom with me yesterday morning talking about, he's like, this is the time of year where I work on my next deal. And the rest of the year, I make all my money in 6 months. You can't do that in single family. You can't do that in apartment complexes. You can't do that in other asset types. You have to be on it all year round. And so RV parks make so much money that the other half of the year you can take off. Okay. So I want people to understand that there are so many people that are wanting to retire from RV park life because they are getting older. Every seller we talk to is saying, I'm getting older. I'm having a hard time. I'm struggling to survive. We've been managing the park ourselves because they manage the park themselves. They live there. They take all the money for themselves, which is great. They get to a point where they don't need any more money and they want to go and travel and live their life. Guess what? They've been married to the RV park. I set my life up where I don't manage the RV park. I have managers that live on site and they do all of that for me so I can go and buy more RV parks, build up my portfolio, and continue to compound. Okay. We got one under contract today. I'm buying another one that's probably $10 million before the end of the year as well. I've got one under contract. I don't even want to tell you the city. I've got one I haven't seen the contract go through. When I see the contract go all the way through, I will bring it up tomorrow. Okay. So now let's talk about mobile home parks. Mobile home parks are very similar in the sense that you can find them in some of the same places. You guys want to find you guys want me to tell you where you can find some of these on market right now? Is that the main thing that you guys probably want right now? Okay, cool. Ready for some notes? Cool. Do you have a contact to buy tiny homes on owner finance? I give that contact to my students. Yes. Dill Sauce, Crexy. Yep. Dill Sauce and Crexy are really good. Thank you, Rose. Is on market or off market better? This is a great question. Thank you so much. Susie Ramos. Let's give you the answer. You asked a good question that has to do with some of the training. Susie, how you doing?
Hi, Pace. I'm
Hi.
good.
So, okay. So on market or off market? Susie, my friend, let's explain to people what on market and off market is.
Okay, let's do it.
Can you explain it or do you want me to explain
I need you to do it.
it? Okay. So on market means somebody's already trying to sell the property. Okay. It means that they've hired somebody, a real estate agent or a broker, and they've hired that broker or that real estate agent to put their property on the market for everybody to see. That's on market. Okay.
Okay.
Off market means these sellers are not telling people they want to sell. They do not have an agent and they might be thinking about selling, but you don't know. Okay.
Okay.
So let's talk about on market for a minute. And I'm going to tell you the answer to your question. Should I go on market or should I go off market? So let's go to where I can find some stuff on market first. Okay. So Crexy, which is one of my favorite websites to use. A lot of people are like, oh, I already know Pace is going to bring up Crexy. Yeah, because it works. So I can go in here and I can type in, let's say RV park. Okay. And RV parks all over the country. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look how cool that is. I've got about 300 right now on market. Okay. So these are people looking to retire. Some of these are too small. I can already tell you I would not buy this deal. Somebody else one of my students would buy this deal as one of their first parks because it's easy to manage. It would make really, really good money, but it's too small for me to really spend my time on it, if that makes sense. What's great is Susie, I'm sorry. Susie, do I have to guess whether these people want to sell or not?
No.
Okay, so if I'm brand new, is it easier for me to reach out to these people and say, hey, I'm brand new, I have a buyer, would you mind if I could set up an appointment for you? Or would it be easier for you to cold call sellers that are not currently selling? Which one would you rather do?
I'd rather go with the on market.
Okay, so what is the answer to your question? What's easier, on market or off market?
On market.
On market. Okay, is that helpful for everybody else to understand? Okay. Does everybody understand that now? Should I go on market or off market? Okay, cool. So here's the pros and the cons of on market or off market. And I'll show you tomorrow morning, tomorrow, how to pull a list of RV parks. And then I'll give you guys a really cool gift. I'll just give you a list of all the RV parks tomorrow. And I'll give you a list also, okay? I will also give you a list of all the mobile home parks in the country and all their phone numbers. Okay, do you know how much that list costs me? Susie.
6,000?
Yeah, probably combined. I'd say combined between the mobile home parks and the RV parks, it costs about $6,000. Why does it cost that much money? Is because I pay for the data of all the list, but then I also pay for all their phone numbers through a skip tracing service. And there's about 100,000 combined between mobile home parks, RV parks, resorts, those types of things. There's about 100,000 of them combined. So if I'm paying about 6 cents per location for the quality phone number, the right phone number, costs about $6,000. You are right.
Wow.
Do we
Thank you.
know that those people are trying to sell though? Yes or no?
I would say yeah, if you're giving it to us, they're ready to sell.
No, I'm giving you a list of every RV park, every mobile home park on the planet,
Oh,
whether
okay.
they're on market or off market. The problem with that list is what I'll show you tomorrow is how to pull a list very specific to an area, very specific to what you're looking for. So if I'm going to look for on market, I could go to Crexy, type in RV parks, mobile home parks. I'll give you a couple of other on market websites. Okay. Everybody get your pen and paper out. Let's go on market for a minute, and then I'm going to talk about off market for a couple of other minutes. Enrique, the tiny home tax benefit is all gone, brother. I'm sorry. It's all over. Okay. Rick Gus says how to find off market. We will talk about that tomorrow. Jacob Stark says, how much are you looking at cap rates? 0. I don't look at cap rates because that is what's being marketed, not what the deal I will do. Okay. Gideon Brewer says, Gideon, are you in SubTo? If you're in SubTo, I'll look at it. If you're not in SubTo, bring it to one of my SubTo students. Okay. Lyle says, what's the advantage of for off market? Okay, we'll talk about that for a second. So let's go and do a little screen share. We'll talk about on market first. Let's talk about some other places I can find on market property. So Crexy is my favorite. These are all on market. These people want to sell right now. They're already listed. They're wanting to sell. Okay. Now let's go to another one that I like is loopnet.com. Loopnet.com is another good one. So we can go RV park. Okay, that's so stupid. Get out of here. Silly thing. This is why I don't love LoopNet. Get the heck out of here. I just want to look stuff up. It's like, where do you want to buy? I want you to pull up the whole entire thing. Stop messing with me. Okay, this is why I don't like LoopNet. It's too clunky. It's too whatever. Crexy is my choice. But let's go to for sale. Let's go to property types. We're going to go to, oh my gosh, F LoopNet. Okay, Crexy is 10 times easier, just FYI, but we can go and you can go down to RV parks, mobile home parks. There you go. That's a good site, not a great site. Crexy is better. Another one is RV Park Superstore. Okay. Sorry, RV Park Store. They changed their name. So this is another great place. You can look for RV parks that are on the market. Okay. And this is nationwide America. And you will see a lot of parks that are not listed on Crexy and a lot of parks not listed on loopnet.com as well. Okay. Now there's a couple of other sites. You guys can just Google this. You can say, where can I buy an RV park on market? And there are other sites, okay, that you can go and look up. You're going to go to, let's see. Not RV park. Buy an RV park. Okay, so there you go, Crexy right at the top. Campground auction. Okay, this one's good. These ones, I really like this one because this one actually has auction properties that are going into foreclosure. Okay, biz buy sell, because RV parks and mobile home parks are actually businesses. Biz buy sell is another great place to find these. And so you can go into listing types. Biz buy sell is a good one. LoopNet. Okay, these are great, but Crexy for me is my favorite. Campground Marketplace is another really good one. Okay, Campground Marketplace. These are more resort style type of things, but it's really, really, really good. Okay, I'm a buyer. Buy a campground or RV park. What considerations? Da 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 da. All this stuff, great. Tons of RV parks that are on market. Okay, so out of the 17,000 RV parks that are out there in the country, there's about 1,000 of them currently for sale on the market. So about 6% of them are actively for sale. The other 16,000 are off market, meaning they are not publicly telling people they are selling. They might have just bought the parks like me. Like if you called me off market, you called me and go, hi, I see that you just bought this park. I want to buy it from you. I'd go, dude, I'm not selling. What are you talking about? Right? So the challenge for off market, okay? Lyle says, what's the advantage of on or off market? So Susie, my friend,
Yes.
if I give you a list of all 17,000 RV park owners, is that going to help you? Yes. But the reality is, do I want to call every one of these RV park owners, or should there be a filter of maybe pain points and motivation that I should go after before I just blatantly call every single one of these people?
Yeah, that filter would be great.
Okay, so what filter? If most of these people are looking to retire, that's why they're willing to do seller finance, that's why they're willing to do creative finance. What type of filter should we be looking to apply to the list that I'll give you guys tomorrow?
Ones that are actually selling.
No, because that would be on market.
Mm. I mean, well, you already know their motivation if you're saying they're retired, right?
How do you know they're retired?
The seller's age.
Okay, this is great. I love that you don't know this. A lot of people, the reason why I asked the question is to highlight that there's a lot of these little micro lessons along this lesson. So you're going to get a lot of people going, can you just call these RV park owners right now and just, okay, you guys can go watch the 4 days of training I did before. I called about 9 RV park owners had incredible conversations and overcame multiple objections. You can go watch that. We'll give you guys the replay. But there were a lot of things that were missing in people's minds from last week's training. And one of them was like, well, how do I know which people to reach out to out of that 17,000 person list? Because Pace, you gave me this list of RV park owners, and you gave me this list of mobile home park owners, and it's so valuable, and you saved me $6,000. But who should I reach out to, and who should I not reach out to? The number one filter, you ready for this, Susie?
I am.
Okay. Number one filter is length of time of ownership. Let's say that somebody just bought the park 2 weeks ago and they're on that list. Should I call that person that literally just bought the park 2 weeks prior?
No.
It'd be kind of a waste of my time, right?
Right.
Right?
They're
They
not-
haven't had enough problems. They
Yeah.
haven't been stressed
They're not
out. They
done
haven't
yet.
retired, right? They bought it to own it for a reason, right?
Correct.
Length of time of ownership. Okay, so that's filter number one. I want to go look at people that have owned their parks for over 15 years as a really good foundation. If I want to go crazy, I'm going to go to people that have owned their parks for 25 years. I know those people are getting really, really old and they're ready to retire. Okay. So length of time of ownership. I'm not going to bother people mostly for the most part that have owned it for 2, 3, or 4 years. I'm going to call the people that are 15, 25, 30 years. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
The second filter that I'm really going to care more about is I'm going to care about the filter. By the way, guys, I'm not in my normal studio. Some people are like, can you just show us? My employees came to my house while I was on my nationwide tour and they dismantled my whole entire studio looking for like 2 pieces that they wanted to take to the office. I flew in today from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and my entire studio is dismantled. So my ability to show you the things I normally do are going to have to wait until tomorrow when I rebuild my whole studio until 1 o'clock in the morning tonight. Yeah, welcome to having employees, guys. It just, stuff like that just happens. There's nothing wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. They were doing the best thing that they thought they needed to do. And they go, oh, Pace is on a 100-day road trip for 100 days, visiting all the SubTo community members. We could take some parts off of his thing, you know. Their logic was, well, if we take these pieces, we can just order new ones instead of ordering new ones, waiting for the new ones. We can just take them right now. And then we can order the new ones and replace the Pace's parts. Perfectly logical. Okay, cool. So Susie,
Yes.
the next filter that I care about is how many parks they own. Do I want these sellers to own more parks or less parks?
Honestly, I could think of it from both scenarios. I guess less parks.
Why? That is the right answer, but why?
Um, I don't know.
Okay, this is good. Again, this is just highlights the little micro lessons. Did you just get your mind open and expanded on people that have owned their park for over 15 years and why you look for those people?
Yes, I did, and thank
Okay.
you for your patience.
So let me expand why it's important for you to look for people to own 1, 2, or maximum 3 parks. 3 parks, I think, is actually overkill. You want to go for people that own 1. 99% of the time I'm buying parks, it's because they own 1 park. Why don't they own a second one?
They probably didn't do that well with the first one.
You're close. You're really close on the answer. That answer is yes. But what did they not do well specifically was delegate to a park manager. They decided, let me just manage it myself. So they live on site. And if they're living on site and they're the park manager, are they going to have the time and energy to go buy a second park?
No, they won't.
Okay, so they haven't scaled to a point where they're living off of 2 parks. They have a manager so they can have lifestyle freedom. If they don't have lifestyle freedom and they're married to their park, what is the likelihood of them being sick and tired of that park if they live there every single day for 15 plus years?
Very high.
Do you now see the filter of what we're looking for?
Yes, I do. They
Okay,
need
cool.
people, those 2 employees, maintenance.
Yeah, and the funny thing is a lot of them have them on site. They're just not learning how to delegate. They're not on YouTube Lives. They're not reading books. They're not going to seminars. They're not learning about delegation. They're not reading John C. Maxwell on leadership books. They're not improving themselves. They bought a park. Now I'll tell you kind of the avatar of the average park owner that I run into. They were making $80,000 a year in their job between husband and wife. They were living okay. They raised their family, and they're sick and tired of the 9 to 5 grind. And they're finally like 55 years old. And they go, F our jobs. Let's go buy a park. Okay. So they go buy an RV park and they live there because it's fun to mow the lawn and do the maintenance and live in that park. It is actually fun. When I go to my parks and my employees don't even know who I am, and I let my kids play on I'm like, this is so cool. I own something that I get to drive by and it prints money for me. It's pinch me. It seems too good to be true that I own a business that I don't have to go to, and I have people that live there on site, and it just prints money for me. It is so cool. However, you don't live there because that cool factor wears off after like 3 months. And so what happens is they're like, okay, well, yeah, this is cool. I'm mowing the lawn and I'm raising the flag on the flagpole and I'm taking the money and I'm doing the thing. Okay, well, 3 months later, you did everything you need to do. Hire somebody to replace yourself. There's enough money there. Why don't they hire people? Can I tell you why?
Yes, please.
Because they get the park to a point where it's making 20 grand a month and they clean the whole thing up. And they look at the 20 grand a month and they go, wait, I now have to give up some of this 20 grand a month that we now live off this lifestyle and we can support our grandkids and our this, that, and the other. And now our lifestyle has actually creeped up a little bit based on the fact we're making this 20 grand a month. Guess what they don't want to do? They don't want to give any of it up. And so they get stuck in this world of I'm taking the 20 grand home and I'm supporting these people. And now my kids are relying on the income. And if okay, well, I don't want to go buy another park because I'm now so married to this park that I can't temporarily go from 20 grand to 17 grand to hire somebody to do the thing. Do you kind of see what's going on?
Oh, yeah, I do.
This is the avatar of an off-market seller. And they're sitting there going, I don't know what else to do. I love the park. It makes me good money, but I can't get out of this stinking thing and I want to retire. Okay. So we look for off-market people. Now, what's the challenge? Okay, Lyle asked the question, what's the advantage? And I'll give you the answer of what's the challenge. The advantage is I can work a better deal with a seller off-market. I don't have to go through a broker. I don't have to, kind of like this. If it's the same thing, you guys deal with this all the time. If I want to buy a car, isn't it better for me to just go to the owner of that car directly and work out a deal with them? Or is it better if that person sells their car to a dealership on a trade-in, then I go to the dealership and I try and work a good deal? Where am I going to get a better deal?
Off the actual seller.
Off the actual seller. The disadvantage there is that you have to be good enough to negotiate with that seller and walk through and educate that seller on why they should sell to you and structure their retirement plan on monthly payments that you're giving them. And when you're brand new, that is scary as heck.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm going through.
Again, let's say, Susie, you actually are paired up with me or one of my students that knows how to do that. And all you had to do is call sellers and set up appointments. Now that fear should go away, correct?
Absolutely.
Cool. So off market is more challenging because you have to educate the seller. And so a lot of people won't do off market until they get a little bit more seasoned in my community. They will stay on market because now the agent, the broker, has also gathered a lot of information. So let me explain the next part of why off market and on market is different. The broker who is selling that property on LoopNet, Crexy, RV Park Warehouse, all of those sites I showed you, that broker, for the most part, has gathered about 80% of the financials and asked all the questions that I'm going to ask anyway as the buyer. And so that broker has extracted all of that information to make my life a little bit easier. When I'm buying directly with a seller, here's what happens. They don't have good records. They have bad banking. They're behind on certain taxes. They're harebrained on their QuickBooks. They're running their own payroll. They're using cash for their own dinners. Their accounting is a mess. And so the other challenge is if you don't know how to underwrite and create those financials to determine what the deal should look like, you will have a hard time determining if an off-market deal is a good deal, which again is why you should pair up with somebody that knows how to do that, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Man alive, I just gave you like 25 solid nuggets today.
You're amazing, Pace.
Well, you had a good question that provided a lot of value. Did everybody get a lot of value out of that session of like off market, on market? Okay. And when you're starting out brand new, here's the other disadvantage of going on market is that on market, everybody else is calling on market. Okay. Everybody is calling on market. And so the advantage of calling off market is that nobody's willing to do that. Okay. Okay. I wonder why you don't include your seller debt payback in your financial expenses. Deb says debt financial payback. Let's talk about that. Deb, she must be an accountant or something, which I love. No newbie would ever ask that question, Deb. You're too smart for your own good. Deb Bowman. What's up, Deb? How you doing?
Hello. Very good. Thanks. How are
Are you
you?
in financials or something?
No. I've just been, trying to study real estate, watching your videos, that kind
Okay,
of
cool.
thing.
So what do you mean by your seller debt payback in my financial expenses?
When you went through that, your expenses for the RV park that you purchased, you
Mhm.
said you made 354,000, and you
Yeah.
took that 250 of it and paid back your lender. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering, like, when you assess the park, don't you have to account for paying back that lender month by month until you can pay them off?
Yeah, there's a line item on there for $18,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I got that. Yeah. All right.
No, don't worry about it. It's a good question. So let's pull it up. I'll pull it up. So my team, by the way, my team uses obviously QuickBooks and we have a controller and we have all that stuff, but my team sends me reports that I don't want to go through QuickBooks. You could imagine, right?
Yeah.
I don't ever want to look in QuickBooks. I don't have a login for QuickBooks. It's an absolute waste of my time. People that like that kind of stuff are freaking crazy. I would rather go find another park. That's what I'd rather do with my time. So my team gives me a very simplified P&L. So every time I'm looking at the deal, I can just kind of consolidate. I don't like seeing seller's payment and my private money lender's payment separate. I like to see them consolidated into one number, which is just basically my debt service, if that makes sense. So my seller, who's my mortgage company in this situation, and my private money lender, who also is my mortgage company, I just have them all in one line item called PML, private money lender. The seller is essentially my lender on that situation. They are a private party, so we consolidate that into one line item, even though it's two different payments. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be scrolling through. Like I want to show you guys financials of like how I underwrite tomorrow. I have a really good park that I think we got it under contract today. If we got it under contract today, I'm going to go through my underwriting of this park that we just got under contract. The underwriting is way more intense of numbers and allocations are so much more like really they pop out. Okay. Whereas like, let's see here. If you go to this line item here, you'll see PML interest paid. You'll see $18,208 every single month. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that includes my seller payment and that includes my private money lender payment all in that one line item.
Gotcha. I had heard the seller payment and it doesn't make sense that it would be that high. So yeah. Okay. I understand.
Yeah, that's the seller, because that's a $5 million park. So the seller payment, I think is like $15,000, and then my private money lender is like $2,500. It adds up to a little over $18,000. That's just both payments consolidated into one.
Amazing. Love it.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting about this, okay, think about this. Look at my expenses for cleaning, landscape maintenance, make ready, repairs, service, okay, all of those things. Every once in a while, we'll have a significant repair like $3,300, like this one here, $5,300, whatever. But why are there so many zeros on all of these numbers? What are your thoughts, Deb? Why are there so many zeros on those numbers?
Well, don't you have somebody living there who's doing most of that?
Right. So the challenging thing is I forego revenue, right? So my top line revenue is $800 less than it could be.
Yeah.
Because I have an empty spot in my park that I'm gifting to that person in lieu of them doing all of those line items. So although those line items don't cost me any money, my top line revenue is $800 less. So there's really no easy way to reflect that other than explain that to you. It's reflected in our QuickBooks of like how that exchange happens. But that's why my maintenance, my landscape, all of that stuff is free. The line items are zero all the way across the board. I think what happens a lot of times, if you look here, I don't know the numbers, but like if you look at this 3,300 or this 5,300 bucks, I could tell you, I already know what that $5,300 is. This summer, or I'm sorry, this winter or last winter had a big snowstorm. We had to buy two snow things and a four-wheeler with like a snow, and our cost to buy that thing for the repair guy, the maintenance guy, was actually an asset expense. And so I looked at the number, I was like, why is that an expense? Why isn't, and they're like, Pace, we simplify the report for you so you don't have to go into QuickBooks to see like how it's actually expensed out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear that. I was shoveling snow today.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I ask just one more question?
Of course, Deb, you got good questions. I like your questions.
Thank you. Your tiny homes,
Yeah.
they're I assume they're kind of like, I mean, I know they're month to month, but you have to furnish those and clean those. Is the manager doing that? Or your
Yeah,
maintenance
that's called our make ready. And that's completely free. So our make ready, they do the laundry, they do the turnover, they do all of the things you'll see on the repair line item. Like every once in a while, they'll replace sheets, they'll replace towels, stuff like that.
Right.
So our manager does the make ready on all of those every day.
Awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff, right? It's like the fact that you have these people, and by the way, you want to see how easy it is to find these people to manage a park?
Sure.
Okay. There's sites for this. Let's see. I think it's called Host Campers. Is what it's called. There it is, Host Campers. So right here, oh no, not Host Campers. What is it? Somebody probably knows this better than I do. Somebody on my team. Oh, here it is. No. Host, that's not it. Host Campers, employees. There it is. Camp Host Jobs. Okay, there it is. Camperjobs.com. So there's about 30,000 people on this site right here, Camper Jobs, where these people are transitioning all over the country. So a lot of people homeschool their kids, you can imagine, right? So what they do is they go on here and they're planning their next couple of years as they go, okay, I want to homeschool my kids on the road, and I want to go. My husband works in sales. He works from our RV. We have Starlink internet. This is so common, by the way. But I want to take our kids around the world, and I want to homeschool them and show them the whole entire country. This is very, very common. I've never seen a park where there's not multiple families traveling the country. So what happens is a lot of these families go, man, we're moving too fast. Like we're going week to week to week to week. We're in a new spot. So what they do is they go, we're going to live in a place for 6 months and manage the camp for free rent. Then we'll go to another camp for 6 months, manage that. And so this is happening all the time. When I take over my parks, I have always temporary management that is going to be moving to a new location. This is very common. So you go, okay, I'm buying the park. I see that the employees are going to be replaced in 3 months. Why? Because they want to move and see a different part of the country. They want to change. They're usually changing for weather. So my park host, the people that were hosting my park and managing my park, they were living there in the summertime in Montana, because obviously Montana is the greatest place on planet Earth in summertime. And then they would go down to Florida in the wintertime, and they would bounce back and forth 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. When I came in to that Montana park, there was two things I did different. These are the only two things I did different. I didn't change the marketing. I didn't change the website. I didn't change really anything except for two things. I changed to a full-time manager that wanted to raise their kids there permanently, because I wanted them to be there year round, even in the slow months, because the slow months is where we actually get a lot of our projects done, right? We accumulate money. We now have the off months. That's when we upgrade our Wi-Fi. That's when we upgrade our bathrooms. That's when we add tiny homes. That's when we do those things. I didn't want to have somebody that was in there, managing the park, bringing in all the money, and then they weren't there also spending the money in the fall and in the winter. Why? I feel like the employee that was actually there, seeing where the money was coming from, should also be part of where it's getting spent, so they understand how hard it is to earn money, so that when they spend the money, they're also very scrutinous when the money's being spent. So I changed it to a full-time employee. She stays there full time. Her name is Jen. She has actually, it's not even her child, it's her daughter's child, it's her grandson that she raises full time at the park. She manages 2 parks. That was one big change I made in the Montana parks. The other big change I made was these 2 parks, you guys are going to be blown away by this, but these 2 parks were owned by the same owner. Okay. Where is this? Let's see, Glacier Peaks, I think, Glacier Peaks. So these 2 parks were owned by the same owner named Eric. And if you look at these parks, one of them has big pull-through sites. Here, I can pull through these sites. And a lot of these are like 80-foot sites. They're really, really big. And then over here, there's a lot less of that, and there's way more trees. There's actually like 3 times the amount of trees you can't see right now because this is an old image from wherever. It says it's from 2025, but this is an old image. It says 2021. So this is an old image. There's a lot more trees in here. So what will happen is, and then also you see all this grass right here. People will call our park and they'll try and book at one park and they'll go, hey, I've got a 60-foot rig. Do you have a large 85-foot spot? And they go, no, we don't. Meanwhile, we have 20 of them at the other park. And so they're pushing business away. This is what Eric's employees were doing because he had 2 different managers at 2 different parks. They're a mile away from each other. The other park, when it would get phone calls, they'd say, hey, I just want to dry camp. I don't want to hook up to any of the stuff. And I have tents and I have whatever. Do you guys have any spots for tents? And they go, no, we don't. Meanwhile, the other park did. And so all we did is we changed the website. So if you change the drop down to larger site or I need this much electrical, it forced you to book at the other park instead of the park you originally Googled. So it says, oh, that's our sister park a mile away, that we have those there, and it would push them there. That was the only thing I spent money on. And that nearly doubled our revenue in the summertime because we weren't losing business. It's so stupid. It's so stupid how simple this business is. And so I'll give you another thing. Deb, are you Canadian or where you're from?
Yeah, Canadian.
Okay. How can I tell?
I don't know. The snow.
Come on. There's two ways you can tell somebody's a Canadian every time.
What, did I apologize already?
Oh, that's the third one. But
yeah.
Number 1, they're always so freaking nice. And number 2, they have the best freaking questions.
Oh, thank you.
The Canadians have really, really great questions. I feel like there's like this desperate need to, like, Canada just doesn't have the real estate like opportunity that Canada or that America does.
It's so much harder here.
It's so much harder. It's just not as easy. And so a lot of Canadians come in and they have these like really deep questions because they want to desperately get properties that they are not controlled by your government.
Exactly.
You can tell I've taught a lot of Canadians, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've seen your ads up here chatting with them. Yeah.
Oh, did you see the one with Mel that thought I was a scam artist? Did you see that one?
Oh, I think I did. Yeah. There's a few. We've done a few.
She was like, when I first met Pace, I thought he should have been in prison. I was like, what, Mel? What the? Okay. So these parks, where is this park? I want to pull this up for you guys to show you what's so cool about these parks is on the financial side for my Canadian friend here. Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. So these parks are amazing because if you look at check how simple this is. This is like all the upgrades I need. So if you look at the uncovered park or spots, my friend, those spots rent for $700 a month. Okay.
That's affordable.
Super affordable. The ones that have these silly, what do you call them? Canopies. Yeah. I know that's not what they're called. What are they called? Anyway, we'll call them canopies, but these aluminum essentially covers are renting for $900 a month. So what's happening is all of our tenants are telling Maddie, who's our manager there, can I get in line for one of the covered parking spots? So they want to pay the extra $200 per month. So the most amount of money I've spent on that park is that as we make money, which is every month, about 25 grand a month I make on that park, we go and buy and install more of those covered parking. Why? Well, because the covered parking cost me $5,500 to for the material and the labor to install one, yet they rent for an extra $200 a month, which is $2,400 a year. So for a $5,500 investment, I'm getting $2,400. So basically they're paid off in 24 months and they're all gravy on top of that. Do that 30 times, you're bringing in an extra, what, $60,000, $70,000 a year for something that your tenants are paying for, which is awesome. The reason why they want them is because they want their trailers to be protected from hail in that specific area. So this is the majority of the work you do on RV parks, is things that your tenants are willing to pay for are the only things you're going to do. You're not going outlandish and spending a ton of money on maintenance and all of those types of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds easily doable, even for the newbies, us newbies.
Even for the newbies. Yeah. And the interesting thing is, like, I'll tell you the number one educator of RV parks in the world, who that person is, okay? It's not me. I'm the number one educator for creative finance and how to get deals under contract and get them onboarded and collaboration. I'm the number one educator for that by far. Nobody's even remotely close.
Yep.
What I've learned more about RV parks is from the host campers, the people that are hosting my RV park. They have managed 25 other parks as they've been transitory and bounce around the country. They get all the greatest ideas from the other parks, and they come to your park and I go, hey, Maddie, like, if you could spend money on anything right now that would amplify revenue, what would you do? I don't have to read a book. She's already been on 15 parks. So I go, what are the other parks doing that are amplifying revenue? Oh my gosh, they're adding this, this, and this. They took away the coin laundry. I'm like, what? Why would they take away coin laundry? And then she goes, well, they add coin laundry in these situations. They take away coin laundry in these situations. I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. It would have taken me years to figure that out. In certain areas, people don't like being nickeled and dimed. And so you just raise your rent and you say free laundry included. In other areas, you don't say free laundry included, you say coin laundry. And it's based on income level in certain areas. I'm like, I would have literally never figured that out without you. And so the people who are managing your park have managed 15 or 20 other parks across the country. They just simply know more than you'll ever know, which is freaking awesome. So as a lot of people that are newbies go and own their parks, and let's say you find a deal for one of my students, you find another deal, you get paid a couple of chunks, maybe you get some equity in those first couple of deals. You then decide, all right, I'm ready to own my own park. Okay, whether it's a mobile home park or an RV park. You should still, in my opinion, still own the park. Maybe it's 50-50 with somebody else, but you will be now in a situation where you go, man, your pace is right. Our employees know more about managing a park than we ever will. Like, I don't even know the software we're supposed to use. And my team was using software from like 5 years ago when we first started buying parks. We had an employee that came in and goes, okay, at all the great big parks, the KOAs, the this, that, and the others, they're using this software and here's why, and I've used it and this is better and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, we literally are being mentored by our own employees, and they work for us basically for free. They just want a free RV park spot in our RV park. It's crazy. So Deb, great questions. I love our Canadian SubTo members. They're always freaking the nicest people with the greatest questions. Okay. There's always a point in the evening where I start seeing people die off. Okay, before we go into tomorrow's training. How many people have had a lot of fun tonight? We had 200 people leave in the last hour because it gets later in the evening. How many people have learned a tremendous amount? Okay. You're like, oh my gosh, this was so helpful. How many people want to get into an RV park by finding a deal for somebody else? Give me a me. Okay, cool. So tomorrow I'll show you guys how to do that, and I will talk about that primarily tomorrow. I'll underwrite one of my parks I just got under contract tomorrow when we first start. I'll give you guys an RV park list and a mobile home park list, and I'll show you guys how you can pair up with other people. Do I own parks in Florida? A lot of my students do. We are the #1 mobile home buyer and RV park home buyer in the nation is our community, besides Blackstone and BlackRock. Okay. I'm ready to take action. Do you own parks in Utah? Yes. Where can I work with your SubTo students? I will give you guys an opportunity to pair up with them tomorrow. Can I do a scenario? Marcus says, yeah, sure. I'll do a couple of questions. Okay. Mason Arispe says, as a bird dog, what info I'll train you on that as well. How about a list of lenders? I'll give you that tomorrow. Man, y'all are just you just want freebies, right? Everybody just give me a thumbs up. All you do is you come to my stuff to get freebies. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's like, does anybody ever give as much as I do in terms of like legit resources instead of like a bunch of BS like spread, I'm going to give you a spreadsheet. It's like, I will literally give you a list of lenders. I'll spend money on you to give you the list of like, oh my gosh. Okay, can I rewatch this after the live session? I think so, yes. I just got off the phone with an agent. Oh, yeah, da, 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 da. Okay, let's see here. Going to get my friend. Da, da, da. There was a good question. Somebody says there was a scenario. Let's see here. I'll give you Carly, if you're still here, will you do me a favor and let people raise their hands? Let's let people raise their hands. I'll do like 2 or 3 questions if you don't mind. Yeah, I also don't love Blackstone, but I'll tell you the honest truth about this. You're never going to stop them. And you can have all your principles about you and say, I'm not going to do business with them. But the reality is they're going to buy and dominate whether you want them to or not. And you and I and all of us combined will never be powerful enough to stop them. So we can feel certain, like super negative about them. Or we can say, well, if they're an unstoppable force, how do I support my family by doing deals with them? I've sold RV parks to Blackstone multiple times and made $100,000 finder's fee. If you can find them a deal that is too big for you and you can make 100 grand in the process, I believe you will probably think the same way I think, is like, they're unstoppable. I can't stop them. I'll never have enough power to stop them. And all my principles, basically, my number 1 principle is take care of my family. My number 2 principle is make sure my students can take care of theirs. If Blackstone is in that equation, then so be it, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. Participants. Douglas Mara, what do you got for me? Oh my gosh, we literally have like 300 questions. Douglas, what's up? Five, four, three.
The question that I have is, you're going to teach us underwriting?
Yeah, a couple of things, Douglas. Last week we actually did that. We had 4 days last week where we taught for 12 hours. I'll give you the replay. Plus tomorrow I'll underwrite a deal for you with my actual full spreadsheet. I think did I mention that earlier?
I don't know. You may have.
Douglas,
Yes, sir.
you make me want to arm wrestle you because I'm now mad at you. Yes, I did say it. I was saying that to be nice. I did say it very specifically. I said I have an RV park that I got under contract and I want to underwrite it with you, and I'll show you my spreadsheet tomorrow. I did say that, but it was only like 45 seconds. So you might have been like answering a phone call or doing something. The other thing is I'll send you the replay from last week's session where I actually had one of my students come in and do 3 hours of underwriting. His name's Dustin. Started out in my community 5 years ago doing single family. Now he's one of the biggest mobile home park buyers in the country. There's a replay. I'll give you guys that replay so you can watch it multiple times, really, really slow. But for tomorrow, I'll show you guys how to underwrite. Douglas, why do you need to underwrite is my main question.
No. I'm just curious, just to know, just to have it in my, bag, I guess, but I really just want to, I really just want to just partner up with somebody.
That's what I think. That's like the main thing I would focus on tomorrow is like, here's the thing is like, think about Stephanie Strong, right? She talked about it this earlier. She said, she's been learning for 7 years. Okay. Everybody in the side chat, how long have you been learning but not doing any deals? How long have you been learning but not doing any deals? And is there a better educator like that goes long 3 hours, does it so many, gives so many, do you guys know somebody gives as many resources as I do? Shows up as frequently as I do, travels the country to meet you in person like I do, spends my own money, gets like, do you guys know anybody that does that? Okay, cool. So at some point, the reality is you need another person to do this with, period. And so what will happen is you guys will sit there and go, man alive, I really wish that I knew how to underwrite. Okay, well, I'll show you some basics and I'll show you the stuff. But the reality is I'm learning as the older I get is the more I give a newbie beyond a partner and beyond a place to go for step 1, the reality is underwriting is like step 12. What do you need step 12 for is actually the problem that most people have. Can everybody kind of understand that? Give me a thumbs up. You kind of understand, like, I have courses, I have these things, but the reality is they need to be given to you in proper order. If you're not taking action in step 1, like if all you do is watch a course, then you're going to get stuck, right? But if you watch a course that literally teaches you how to pair up with other people, that is the core. That is the number one skill you should be partnering or figuring out, is like, how do I partner with somebody else? How do I partner with you? How do I use your resources? How do I use the cheat code to go from little Mario to fireball Mario by taking your mushrooms and your resources? That's the main question, because you will learn underwriting as you earn on a deal. I don't know about you guys, but I would rather, like, this is, again, the best image I think of all time, at least that I've seen in the last couple of days, is this. Is like, the more information you're going to take in, this is going to be you. When I'm ready, I will start. How about this? We will start and become ready. How many people agree with that? You want to start and become ready, or you want to wait until you want to start when you become ready? Which one? Okay, that is actually the problem, right? And so what I'm a master at is getting people to take action. I'm a master at it. You see me currently traveling the country now, getting people deals in person. I'm a master at getting people taking action. That big disease that everybody has, they're like, I can't take action. There's a reason why our community is trending towards 100% success rate, is because we are so gosh dang good at getting people to take action. So I love to teach underwriting, but I'm learning the older I get. Again, I feel like it's like I'm sticking a stick in your bicycle spokes. Like, here's underwriting, and now you're overthinking. I feel like underwriting is like the number one way to get you. By the way, if you guys are in SubTo, do not raise your hand in these free trainings. I see like 5 SubTo members raising their hands. Guys, I do a Zoom with you every morning for 2 to 3 hours called the Jam Session. Come into the Jam Session, raise your hand so I can see your face. Why are you guys coming in a free challenge? Why are you even in here? I know you like hanging out with me, but why? Okay, let's go to, I don't know this person. Let's go to Tiago de Souza. Tiago, is that how I pronounce your name?
You got it.
Heck yeah. What do you got for me?
Brother, I was just wondering, as I've been listening and learning from here today, like with the RV parks, like what is the one thing or the couple things that you don't want on your RV parks?
Okay, so one of the first things is I don't want a small RV park anymore. Okay. When I first started, I would do small RV parks, and a lot of my students will do small RV parks because they're intimidated by the size of like a 300 pad deal, right? And they're also intimidated by the ones, and of course they upgrade and they get into the bigger ones, but they're so intimidated on their first one that they'll kind of stay on a smaller size, like 25 or less pads. Then they get into that and they go, man, I'm capped. I can't expand. There's not enough land to, add more spots or do whatever. And I'm now capped at $7,000 a month net. And I have this thing. It's kind of like a laundromat. I think laundromats are kind of a waste of people's times. People are, I want to buy a laundromat. No, you don't want to buy a laundromat. You want to have a way to get out of your job, and a laundromat sounds appealing because it has no employees or very little employees, and people are afraid of having employees. That's the truth. Anybody agree with me on that? Like, I see everybody talking about like RV parks online. I'm like, not RV parks, but like laundromats are like, you don't want to own a laundromat. You are so capped in your growth that by the time you own it, you're 3 months in, you're like, crap, why did I buy a laundromat? Okay.
Right. That being said, like, what's your minimum size?
For us, it's 50 pads. For me and my team, it's 50 pads minimum. Okay. The next thing that I really want to have on my parks, I'm trying to buy parks that have land adjacent to it that I can acquire and expand. And I'm not expanding RV pads necessarily. I'm actually expanding tiny homes. So I'm diversifying my RV parks by saying, okay, RV parks, my friend Tiago, RV parks are typically people that are vacationing, they're working, and they're what we would call transitory, okay?
Right.
Meaning they're moving in and out, okay?
Right.
I'm trying to offset portions of my RV parks with tiny homes with permanent residences that solve affordable housing in that local area. And I'm looking to get government grants to get guaranteed income. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Now it's a couple more moving parts, right? And so a lot of my students, they join, they are looking for deals for other people. They don't care what the size or what the thing looks like. They care what their buyer wants, their SubTo buyer, the person at SubTo, and they go, what are you looking for? What city are you looking for? One of our brand new students found the largest RV park in Alaska for one of my students, RV park in Alaska. And that student's like, I never would have thought I was going to look for that park. But again, what are you doing in the beginning? You are looking for a park for not yourself, but for the buyer. So the buyer's going to tell you what they want. You're going to go and set up those appointments, et cetera, and you'll do those deals. So it might be too much information for me to tell you my specific buy box because you might not be paired up with me. You might end up getting paired up with one of my students in, Tennessee that's looking for 75 pads and it has to be on waterfront and there has to be a restaurant. Every single student's a little bit different because their personality type is different. I have a student that's like obsessed with culinary stuff. And so he's like, I want to build a restaurant on every park. I want to have taco trucks that come there every night. And I'm like, I don't care about that. I care about solving affordable housing with tiny homes. So for me, if I can't expand on parks and they don't have 50 spots and expansion, I'm starting to say no to them and just have my other students buy them. And I might lend on them or I might get involved, but I don't want to own them as the main manager because my game plan is solving affordable housing through tiny homes on RV parks. So those are those. I also, another thing you don't want to do if you're acquiring a portfolio is you don't only want to have seasonal parks. Okay, so like my Montana parks, very seasonal. My Texas parks, not seasonal at all. They offset each other. You don't want to have all your parks going, summertime, we make all the money. Then wintertime, we are broke, right? You want to have some parks that are kind of offsetting that to a certain degree.
That makes sense.
A couple of other things are in RV parks, location is critical. The beautiful thing is that when you're buying an existing RV park, you're not guessing, right? You're not building. And so a lot of people come to me and go, are you building RV parks? And I go, why would I go build RV parks when there are so many I can buy right now that are already existing and already cash flowing? I can buy 5 RV parks in the same time it takes somebody to build half of an RV park. So why would I build one? Are there people doing that? Yes, they just have a different strategy than me right now. I'm trying to acquire 4 to 8 RV parks a year, very methodically, a very specific type. I have students that bought 16 RV parks last year, are going faster than me. Why? Because they're not expanding those parks and adding tiny homes, right? It's a little bit different based on who you're talking to.
Is your plan to add tiny homes to every single one? I'm sorry, I don't mean to pry.
What's that?
I don't mean to pry, but do you plan to put the tiny homes on all of your RV parks?
I think so. Yeah. Well, I'll show you. Like the ones in Montana, I'll show you a good contrast of one I can't and where this was a good deal I would not have bought otherwise if it didn't come involved. So let's go to, by the way, you are supposed to pry. I have no secrets. You want to see something? I'll show you. You want to see my bank accounts? I'll show you. I have nothing to hide. You can ask all the questions. So
I've
take a
been
look at
following
this
you for
park.
quite some time. I know you're pretty transparent.
Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. So think about this. Like I talked about the self-storage ones.
Right.
Like this is pretty obvious. I could expand by taking these out, right? But I'm limited beyond that. Okay. This looks like land. It's actually, this is a really old image. Sadly, this image is like really old. Check this out. You see how there's something here now?
Yeah.
So I can't build and grow sideways. Here's my RV park right here. I can't do anything here because this is my leach field for my septic tank, so I can't do anything there. And then over here on the other side of me, check it out. Tons of self-storage right here.
Oh, wow.
So I would have to buy this guy out and take all his U-Haul rental business out to expand my park. Sadly, I probably today would have looked at this park a little bit differently, and I would have known when I bought this that I was going to tear these out. It took me 2 years to figure that out. Now, I bought the other park at the same time. Where could I expand this park right here? Any thought, Tiago?
Towards the left or towards the back?
Yeah, so I would have to buy this guy, right?
Yeah.
I would have to buy this guy. What I want now, Tiago, is I want parks that already have land that have not been developed, and a lot of my students are finding these for me. I can't do anything here. Why?
That looks like where you have is that a septic
Recreational
area as
stuff,
well?
right?
Is it recreational?
Yep, and you also, that's where you put your septic tanks.
Yeah, I
So
saw a big
everybody's
drain
pee and
down the
poo
middle.
goes into
Yeah.
that area, and there's a leach field there, so I can't put any weight in that area, so I can't expand there. So
Right.
for me, I want parks that I can either buy and own the land next to it, or it already has land attached to it that I can go and expand.
Gotcha.
But a lot of my students are different, right? Every buyer's a little bit different. Everybody's kind of doing things a little bit different. So, cool. Everybody coming back here tomorrow? Give me a yes. Everybody's coming back here tomorrow. We're going to hang out for another 3-4 hours tomorrow. A lot of freaking fun. Cool. For those of you guys that are in SubTo, you shouldn't come here tomorrow. Just come into the jam session. Tomorrow's jam session is tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you guys are in SubTo, like Ari Davis, I saw you came in here. You raised your hand. I love talking to you, Ari, anytime. Okay. 7 a.m. Arizona time, Pacific Standard Time, 2 hours. I will be live tomorrow, 2 hours just for the SubTo community. Come in there and hang out. Raise your hand. I'd love to chat with you, Ari. I want to see your face. Say hi to the fam, all that kind of stuff. Guys, we will be back tomorrow, same exact time, 3 o'clock Arizona or 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 4 o'clock Mountain Standard, 5 o'clock Central, and 6 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Final day of the mobile money training. We'll give you guys a couple of good resources tomorrow, and we'll also send out replays tomorrow. So I'm going to give you guys the promises. RV park list, mobile home park list, lender list, and then also I'll give you guys an underwriting sheet tomorrow, and I'll give you all the replays tomorrow as well. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll probably have another 1,200 people, or same 1,200 people will show up tomorrow, and we'll go 3 or 4 hours as well. Thank you guys so much.